All right, everybody, welcome into our live stream for the 2024 NFL Draft. Anyone who's maybe listening into the replay and checking out our reactions, and also going forward, thank you for tuning in. And we've got a lot that we're going to be covering. We're going to be here for the first 3 hours, the entire three and a half hours of the first round of the NFL Draft. Ryan Roberts will be popping in and out. We're also going to get an appearance from Blake Ruffino after the Jayden Daniels pick. Sean, I'm already getting shit on. I'm already getting completely slaughtered.
What'd you do now?
Wait, you didn't? You don't see what Blake quote tweeted that?
Yes. Yeah. When are you gonna eat the hat?
Well, you literally can't eat a hat.
Oh, I think you could. You could even put a hat in a sous vide. You could get it real nice and soft.
You
Fork
can't
and knife it.
You can't consume pigment dye. You can't. I would literally die.
I could
It's
even
not digestible.
I think I could even get a cheese grater, break down the hat, and find a way to get you a whole hat into your meals throughout a year.
Let's look it up. Is
look it up then.
Digestible?
Digestible and edible, two different things, man. You gotta remember that.
Death is not something that's on the table here.
Oh, come on.
The only thing that comes up is if animals can eat clothing.
I've seen dogs eat through pants and socks and shirts.
See, somebody commented that. Somebody commented that their dog eats a lot of socks, so then I should be fine. And I disagree. I don't think that there is truth to that.
Why don't you eat the hat? What if I find a nice soft hat for you?
Because I don't want to find out what the negative or I also don't know how I'm supposed to chew through a hat. I obviously was speaking in obnoxious hyperbole, and God forbid the one thing that probably wouldn't have happened happens and comes to fruition. Now I'm getting held accountable. Also,
God forbid, someone wants to hold you accountable. Yeah.
No, I don't hear anybody for any of the other correct takes I had last college football season.
I predicted Washington. Give you props for a correct take ever. Why would they?
Exactly. Well, the Washington fans liked me. The Washington fans really
coaches saying, "Hey, you had a really good play in week 5 3 years ago." No. If you meet a coach and you talk with your coach, it's going to be, you still missed that block. That's what it's going to be. They're not going to remember the good play.
You know what a random thought? I'm not eating the hat. You know what a random thought I had earlier was? So they have all these guys. It's a whole big deal when they talk to them about their outfit, right? They talk to them about like
the red carpet.
Like what's the inspiration? Where did you get it from? Why can't we have one year a guy who forgot that was part of the pre-draft process and is wearing his dad's suit? I really wish. I don't know what it would take. Obviously, it would need to be kind of staged because I think that the pre-draft process is so organized. But there's got to be one dude who's done that, and we just don't know about it.
At this level, I mean, on day one, no one's going to be in their dad's suit. It would be like, really, the best opportunity you had was with Marvin Harrison Jr. this year, maybe popping his dad's suit on, and then maybe that.
Well, he's so much
he's got the pendant. Okay, all right. Look. I'm trying to poke some holes into your impossible argument, which I think I'm doing a good job of so far. I taught you how to eat the hat. I showed you a guy that could have worn his dad's suit. It's too designer now, though. Everyone's too into fashion. Yeah. It's really unfashionable to not have at least a bit of a toe into that world.
You're telling me that there couldn't be one guy who, like a guard or like a center or a defensive tackle that's just not paying attention. Maybe he doesn't sign an agent. Maybe he doesn't have like a PR person, just says he wants to go through the process. We need a guy like that.
How many guys are there like that?
I think Quinn Miners would have fell into that bucket maybe.
Did you see he got thrown into the Broncos photo shoot for their new jerseys?
I did.
He was one of the guys. I was never a guy for New Jersey reveal. Joe, I don't think you were ever a guy for the New Jersey reveals at Rhode Island.
We never had we did have New Jersey reveals. They did pick a weird group when we got New Jersey. So it was a lot of good players, a lot of like, okay, who are the rest of these guys?
This is how you know I was a bum. I walked into the place where they took the photos for the first time on senior day, last day. just just to take that stupid helmet photo. That was the only time I'm sitting here like, oh, this is where the photographs happen that I see that you guys are taking them at. That's pretty interesting.
I don't think a lot of people were clamoring for
a backup offensive lineman on an FCS team.
Yeah, the third string / backup left tackle and the long snapper. I don't think anyone was really clamoring for that. But
if you want personality in the media room, you need a backup OL or a special teamer. They're gonna get some juice out of everybody.
Neither of us were in the top 10 personalities on the team.
Well, it was sloppy production. What are you talking about?
Maybe you. Definitely not me. There was nothing charismatic or enticing about me. I had like the most enormous gut our senior year. I mean, I could have done the Quinn Miners bit. I certainly could have done that, which you and I did. You and I both have that picture from picture day where we took pictures.
It's one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolute units being absolute units. That's great. One of us went one direction afterwards, one of us went the other. I wonder who you could guess did.
And wonder which one of us talked the most shit on who was going to go in which direction compared to the other.
I still owe Antrim $100. I'm not forgetting it. Don't worry, it's coming to
me. Wait, what was the bet that you had with Antrim?
I told Justice that within a year I'd be back right down to 275. Oh, it was going to be so easy. I put $100 on it, and then I saw him at the spring game 2 years ago. And
did he call you?
Well, we both know. I'm like, yeah, I know. Look at me. You think I'm really flushed with cash right now? Maybe if I was cut up, I would be.
By the way, speaking of long snappers, I think that way too many of the media hits that I did. I don't know why I never. After the first time I was asked this, I don't know why I never took it upon myself to prepare notes for it. But I think at least 6 or 7 times I got asked who's the best long snapper in the class. And I still don't know. I have no idea. This is not a good long snapper class, if anybody is wondering. I don't think we're getting any coming on day one. I don't think anyone's coming off the board here. Chicago Bears.
Okay. Where did you put yourself during your class of the long snappers? Where'd you have yourself?
That's a dickhead question.
No. I want to know. I don't know anything about this. I know offensive tackle world. Okay. And I was probably in the 5,000 to 10,000 range. That was my, I think, cumulative ranking in the nation.
There was one website that had long snapper rankings, and I think I was at like 15 or something, which not good, but not bad. I was ahead of a decent crop of people, but people don't realize you see 15, you're like, wow, like that sounds pretty good. But they don't realize that one guy is usually good enough to get drafted, which was Blake Ferguson my year. Mm-hmm. There's usually 3 guys that get UDFA contracts, and Jake then another Olsen. 3. Another 3 will get invites to rookie minicamp. So if you're on that outside bucket, it doesn't mean shit. If you're not in the top 7, you're usually not getting any run or opportunity. We need to talk.
Why'd you make that face? Why'd you make that face?
We're not gonna start off the first 8 minutes of the show of me sharing my most controversial, horrible take. I'm gonna wait until one day when I have a big enough following to share why I don't like
you do it,
Jake Wilson. We need to actually talk about the draft, though. We need to actually talk about the draft. The Bears are about to be on the clock. There is a minute. I don't know. This is a run-in ad with Goodell. So I don't know what the actual time frame is for when the Bears are going to be on the clock. We're not going to waste any time talking about what we think the Bears are going to do because we freaking know. What do you think that they're going to do at 9? Because I feel like that they're going to go with Olu Fashanu. It seems like that there's been a lot of buzz. They were high school teammates at Gonzaga, I believe, is the school that they play together at. I feel like Fashanu is going to end up being the pick because they already figured out receiver to an extent. If they're going to take another receiver, it wouldn't be until day 2 or day 3 in a good receiver class. They could go defense. It just feels like taking a tackle and finding not a replacement, but like a more solidified, competent starter over Braxton Jones makes more sense.
You know what? That would be a good idea. We have to remember that the Bears are not a smart team. They're not smart. They haven't shown the exhibit. They have not shown their prowess to be able to keep up. So what they're going to do is they're going to do some copycat. And they saw what the Texans did last year, where they said, all right, they went quarterback and stud edge rusher. And they're lucky that Will Anderson Jr. is a stud. So they're going to go star quarterback,
edge rusher would be a good idea.
Just like the Texans did. because it's not a league where you had, I don't know, every year you got one guy with an original idea, maybe. But then if that idea doesn't work for you, you have to keep on combing down the line for other ideas that might work for you, because these GMs aren't going to think of one. Why would they? They don't need to. Other GMs are doing their thinking for them. I think they go D-line. I really do.
D-line's a good one. Their defense is a lot more empty than people I think really consider. There's a lot more gaps on their went and got Montez Sweat, which was a nice boost for them, but their interior defensive line needs work. Their secondary needs work. Their linebacker room is probably their best unit that they have. The whole Eminem thing is a little obnoxious. Am I off base for saying that? Like there was nobody else that they could have pulled to rep Detroit.
No, he's still number one out of Detroit. You could have got like
why isn't Barry Sanders up there?
Barry Sanders was featured in the feature. Look, Eminem has gone in. He's been in OG status since about 2010. So the last 14 years, it's kind of been like, oh, there's Eminem. He's the OG. You kind of have to have him on the stage. Get a couple feet closer to Goodell. Why do you get weird with it? What are these cameras? Why is make it look normal? Not 5 feet away from each other. All right, he's getting a little closer. That's better.
I'm trying to look up and see if there's anyone notable from Detroit. Google says, "Oh, Stevie." I don't know if
you got Big Sean,
Big Sean, Diana Ross,
Diana Brown.
Ross.
Yeah,
Chris Webber. I said him. I meant her. Chris Webber could have gone with Chris Webber. I'm obviously joking.
It's probably
there's not a lot to pull from.
They should have brought Megatron out. Who's this goofball? Oh, there's Goff. All right. I thought he was actually an actor. I actually thought he was an actor. Jesus.
That is way too tight of a suit that Aiden Hutchinson's wearing. It's absolutely insane, the freaking crowd that they have here in Detroit. Like, this is nuts. Oh, there's Barry. Barry's like slowly.
There's Megatron. Thank you. Thank goodness. Yeah, get everybody out there. You got 150,000 people. If I played for the Lions, I'm on that stage. Are you kidding me?
I want to know, by the way, you can just tell that 90% of this crowd is hammered right now. Look at these people. Look at these people.
It's the week.
Could you imagine being up in like the middle? Obviously, you're in the seated section. It's going to be easy to get out of because there probably were tickets that were sold and whatnot. It looks like this was very organized. But could you imagine being in that upper crowd trying to get out of there? The funniest thing that I'm thinking of, though, is that the other years where there were good crowds, this crowd is way bigger. Big shout out to Detroit for going all out like this. There was very organized. Like, there were multiple stages, there were multiple locations, there was all this stuff. I don't know if there's the multiple stage thing this year, but you can tell that Detroit was just like, hey, everybody, just congregate. Just show up.
Yeah.
Like, just show up and get drunk. Just do whatever you want.
We've got about 5 football fields filled with concrete. You come stand on them and you're on TV. And I think awesome. A lot of people said, you know what? The Lions players are bringing some energy, at least from what I'm seeing. I can't hear what Barry's saying. But you know what? A crowd like this could set a new precedent for the NFL draft, where now it becomes our city has to show out. You have to, because then you're just going to keep on getting, mammoth by what Detroit did tonight. God, Megatron, bad hat. It's all stiff.
What is the Aiden Hutchinson suit's terrible.
His suit is awful.
I like that Jared Goff dressed as any white guy would to an occasion like this. Just the bomber
he dressed
jacket.
Like a stand-up comic. What's wrong with him?
No, that is the white guy going to the bars bomber jacket. Fit. The tall, thin white guy going to the bars fit. But I like that's a good comparison too. But the navy bomber jacket with the black undershirt is every white guy going to a bar in his 30s.
All right, well, get him out from behind Goodell. Let's, all right, just.
I hate that suit that Aiden Hutchinson's wearing.
It doesn't seem. Oh, good God! It doesn't seem appropriate for NFL. Maybe if you're a draft pick, you could wear a suit like that. You're not
right. Well, so wait, that's okay. One, not only is it too tight, And then 2,
you're already a
he's
Pro
not
Bowler.
getting drafted. Yeah,
what are you doing?
What are you doing, man?
This is showing up. This is actually when high school heroes show back up at their games after their first year of college or something like that. And they're in the full, if you're playing ball, they're in the full tracksuit, top to bottom, head to toe.
Did you have anybody that did that? I had a couple guys that did that.
There were a lot of hometown heroes around here that went D1 and then go back to the
Did
to
you
the game.
Do that?
I did not. I went back to the first. I went and saw the high school game at Mount Vernon for the first time this past fall since graduating. I had it just did not have the inclination. Look at all these stiffs. God, the Bears have no energy.
Wait, we need to figure out how ahead are you right now? Where are you?
I think I'm behind you. Yeah, I got 9 minutes on the clock. Thanks, Bert. Unpin him. Nuisances.
Wait, that's your roommate, right?
Yeah. Thanks for giving all my personals out there also. We're really starting to cross some state lines. I don't know if I appreciate it.
What do you mean? Well, I mean, I'm glad for once that you're does Dukes want to come on? You should ask him if he wants to come on. Or is that over the line? What is that?
You're stirring a lot of right now.
He doesn't want to react to the Commanders pick? No.
Hey, why don't you text Ross, see if he's got time to join the stream?
No, I'm not tight with them like that. I'm bringing my guy on. I'm bringing Blake on. But it's not going to be pleasant. Like, I'm serious. Like, get ready for... Like, there's going to be a blow up. I'm a little mad at him, admittedly. Like, I thought I was fine with getting called out by fans, but he started. He quote tweeted me. It's got 300 likes right now.
Yeah, it should. It should have more. It should have 3,000. You should go through with it.
He showed me a text message that actually, never mind. I'll tell you about it later. But
you could find a nice thin fabric hat and find a way.
I'm not eating a hat. It's literally not possible.
The hardest thing would be the brim. It would everything else you'd be fine.
Tyler.
With. Yeah.
I'm not eating a hat. Why are they running down this clock?
I guess I don't know. They're waiting for the mega trade to drop.
I feel like this is one of those things, and I'd love to. Asking Weinberger would make a lot of sense. To ask this, he probably could give me insight on it. That why most teams these days run down the first pick clock. It has to. Goodell has to tell them to do it, right? You think?
Hey, just give us a couple minutes. Yeah. I think it's because it may be a TV thing where people are still filing in, getting to the TVs. 8:00. Oh, when's the draft start? Because it's not like the Super Bowl. It's still just the NFL draft. It's a big deal.
It's also a momentum builder too. Like what you're saying does make sense, but I feel like it's more just like a momentum building thing that, hey, we need to build the drama, even though we know who the pick is, make them think something's wrong or make everyone start thinking about what that second pick's going to be. I
just feel bad for the guys in the truck that are like, all right, let's get the third 90 seconds of Caleb highlights going. Come on, polls. All right, you're on the phone. Jesus Christ. Don't pin it. Don't pin it. You know what? Thanks for the comments, fellas. I hope that boosts the SEO.
That's not
Get off the phone. All right. Oh, you're the SEO doctor? Polls is on the phone right now.
They're ordering pizza, man.
They should just be ordering the Brinks truck ready to go. It shouldn't be any hold up. Do you think Caleb's going to hold out at all?
What, on his rookie deal?
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I say no is they had to already have been negotiating. Like there has to have already been some level of a conversation of like, okay, we're picking you. What do you want? There's probably I can't think of a time where a first overall pick ever held out for this type of reasoning. It's usually like a second or a third or somewhere in the top 10 are usually the picks that have the leverage and that choose to do so.
Who am I thinking about that had a
Joey Bosa is one of the most recent ones I can think of.
Bosa was a big one.
Like he was out for like a good little bit.
How is it still this long before the pick is even announced? What are they talking about on the phone? God. Are you watching the ESPN or the NFL feed?
The ESPN one. I don't even know that they still did I thought that they were trying to do away with the NFL Network one.
I'm an Eisen wrong. I like the way that he controls the draft.
Did you see how giddy Belichick was during that picture that I shared of him breaking down the draft board?
It's the happiest I've ever seen him. Probably because he should never coach again. Ever. Thank God. Pick is in. Finally.
Oh, you're behind me. I think you're behind me.
I think, yeah. Oh, congratulations. First time ever.
It's the first time ever. Yeah, you're usually the one for spoiling things. The worst bit ever that you used to text me. I mean, this is probably one of the positives of you and I moving in together is that I don't have to deal with that bullshit where you'll text me a minute before something bad happens in a game.
How could it be bullshit if you're telling me that these YouTube TV and everything else is faster? How is it that when I'm watching cable, right now I'm behind you because I'm streaming? No, cable's a necessity.
We're not getting cable.
What do you mean?
I can't watch cable on my phone. I'm not getting fucking cable. Cable. It's 2024.
Zoomer? You want Fortnite on your phone too?
Yeah, maybe. No,
come on. Cable's a necessity for live sporting events, or else you're just sitting there behind everybody else. You're late to the group chat. You're late to everything.
I don't care. I'd rather be more tech savvy than.
How is this tech savvy? How am I behind you if this is tech savvy?
That pick is being announced. All right, Caleb Williams picked by the Chicago Bears. We're not surprised. I just want to reiterate something that I've been saying throughout this whole process, Sean. I'm kind of curious if you feel the same way. I think that he is landing in the most perfect situation for a first overall pick. I don't think he could have been given a better starting circumstance in terms of a team that has a lot of draft capital this year. They've got this 9th overall pick coming up, which we're going to react to in a second. They have a really good receiving room with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. They have the opportunity to add to that receiving room. Cole Kmet is a tremendous player. They've got a good running back room, and they just need a couple more defensive pieces. I think the Bears in year 2 of Caleb Williams will be leading the NFC North. I think that is capable for them to get to.
I'm happy for Caleb, DC guy. It's almost a bit fate because you can't think that polls in the front office of Chicago would have thought, hey, we were going to have this record with the first overall pick still. They couldn't have thought Carolina is going to still have the worst record. They end up with it, and a lot of draft sympathizers get upset because a lot of times these players don't have a ton of control of where they're going. They're going to be a savior, a hero to a franchise that's completely depleted, that doesn't have assets, that's looking for a savior. Chicago wasn't looking for a savior. They were a middling team looking for a boost, and getting the number 1 overall pick and the best quarterback prospect in 2 years. Yeah, it's a good play for them. It's the smart play. They finally may have nailed it.
Is it just me, or does Caleb look very disinterested?
I think that's part of his bit, is a little bit of the disinterest thing.
Look, I'm a Caleb supporter. I have said that since he's managed to piss everybody off, it's actually flipped on me. I actually like him more that he is now antagonizing a lot of people. I think it's awesome that he's doing it, but he does look like he's a little bit disinterested. Wow, the Commanders moved quick. Looks like the Commanders are already kind of in play for what they're going to be doing. So it must be Jayden. Blake is probably going to come barreling in here in 1 second.
All these stiffs clapping in the room. Give me a break. Yeah, high five each other. Way to get lucky. Freaking losers.
Is Tyler Rack of tits?
No. He's not.
He's commenting like him.
I understand. They share a lot of they chew on the same cud. Somehow Rack more vile. How much time? Is the Commanders pick in? How far ahead of you are?
Well, it doesn't say the pick is in, but they were all cheering and clapping in the war room. So one would assume that means they made the phone call and they're about to show us.
I think that was the Bears war room. No.
No. It was the Commanders one.
Oh God.
Maybe I'm stupid. Which
how did the Chargers just let Keenan Allen walk? Also, is that not?
No. They traded him.
I know. When I say let him walk, I mean like not retaining him on a team.
Their cap room is
nobody learns.
No. Their cap room's terrible right now. Their cap situation because of the Herbert contract. They missed their window. They missed their window to become a playoff contending team. The most that they could get to was the wild card round. Got a quick question here in the chat. What do you guys think about a guy like Xavier Legette? Big, strong, explosive, and great at high pointing the ball. I don't know. Vino as his quarterback and managed to catch 7 touchdowns in the SEC. Yeah, I think that Xavier Legette benefited. Spencer Rattler played a lot better, so he certainly benefited from that. He's really interesting because he's an older player, and he didn't exactly have a very rapid, or he didn't have a consistent progression in his time at South Carolina. But that last year, he exploded, had a huge year. There were all these other guys. Juice Wells went down with an injury, and he stepped up to the plate. He's a rare build, man. Like, he finally put it together this year because he runs a 4.3, and I think he's like 215, 220. He's got that DK build. Doesn't really cut super well, but
he was really impressive at the combine. I mean, watching him at the combine, it's like, okay, cool. He had a couple weird drops that it's like, you're at the combine, make the catch. But the upside there, I'm hoping that whoever drafts Legette can make him what Laviska Shenault should have been, because I thought that he had such a strong build, core, shoulders, legs, especially for a wide receiver, that he should have been used more. Legette, probably a better athlete, but I think I'm still high enough on him.
I really think that he's going to be the pick at 33 to the Panthers. Somewhat local to an extent, and it sounds like there's been some pretty consistent buzz for that.
Well, you're a big South Carolina guy.
Hey, screw yourself.
How come I was seeing Rattler smoke to the Chiefs today?
Wait, what?
Just people.
To the Chiefs?
No, there's Rattler smoke to the Chiefs.
Oh,
I don't know why that buzz would even. Why? I don't know. He grew on me last year. He grew on me a lot.
Who did, Rattler?
Yeah, it's tough to be that disliked online and then to keep playing football and to keep incrementally improving year after year.
Wait, you see in I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. You see Dan Quinn's fit?
Okay, look, I have to. Dan Quinn has never pulled off a fit in his life.
No. He has got black suit, and I think he's got a black turtleneck or like a black undershirt. It's a great. He looks great. I'm blown away. Really? Yeah, he might have the best outfit. Also, why is Booger wearing a Chicago Bears colored outfit? We're bringing in Ryan now, by the way.
What's up?
What's up, Ryan?
Yo.
You missed the most controversial pick.
I know, man. By the way, Joe Shimko from NC State is the best long snapper in the 2024 NFL draft.
Oh, thank you. Finally,
he trained at Test. I don't think though that he is the best one. The Wisconsin,
I think he is
a little better.
I've heard Shimko's the only one that's probably going to get drafted. So
I don't think any of them are getting drafted this year.
You're wrong. I mean,
I bet that there's one punter and there's one kicker. Tory Taylor is going to be the one punter. The one kicker is going to be, I think Reichard makes the most sense. All right, here comes the Jayden Daniels pick. By the way, Blake is going to hop in for the Jayden Daniels reaction. Just a heads up.
I'll just be on mute and let him go.
Yeah, I don't expect to get a word in. I hear clapping down in my living room. I think people are excited.
Jayden Daniels is the pick for the Washington Commanders at second overall. This is one that is a bit interesting because on Friday there were rumors that the visit did not go well, and there was a lot of speculation that this could lead to a trade out. It could lead to them taking Drake Maye, but here we are. This, to me, Ryan, you and I talked a lot about this. It's the best fit for what Cliff Kingsbury is looking for. It's the best fit for what they want offensively. He can throw on the run. He can move. He can extend the pocket. I think that we just need to be a little wary of his full health and availability because of his frame and the way that he plays the quarterback position and how aggressive he is. But this is a great pick, man. I feel the most confident I've felt about a Commanders quarterback selection in quite a bit of time.
When was the last time you felt good about it?
Well, I don't think ever. I mean, the RG3, I was a child, so I don't know how much I was going to really be able to. I was really aware when they took Mark Brunell. But the DeWayne Haskins pick was terrible. Like, that was a bad pick, and I didn't feel good about that.
Oh, no. I was melting down in the house during the Haskins pick, and then you were like, oh, no, simmer down. He's got a big arm. He's ready to go.
Joe's a great quarterback evaluator, so it makes sense. Makes total sense.
Kaiser 2.0.
Thoughts on the Daniels?
I'm sorry. I know we're being professional here. There was a great
conversation. We're not, by the way. You don't have to be professional, but I'm just trying to have a reaction.
Well, no. There was a great conversation, though, between this pick because obviously the two guys that were mentioned most was J.J. McCarthy was never a part of this conversation, so we can just throw his name out of there, okay?
No.
The two guys that were part of this conversation was obviously Jayden Daniels. The other one was Drake Maye, quarterback from North Carolina. Very interesting parallels because Jayden Daniels is technically what Cliff tends to really gravitate towards a quarterback, the ability to be a dual threat, win outside of structure, move the pocket, RPO game, like all that type of stuff. But also Cliff is an air raid guy, right? And when Drake Maye was at his best in college, it was when he was in an air raid system as a redshirt freshman. So some interesting parallels and a little bit of just comparison between the two. I think that you are taking a little bit more of the sure thing, in my opinion, with the Jayden Daniels. He's obviously an older prospect. He is a little bit more just seasoned as far as getting through reads and getting through his progressions. But Drake Maye has the higher upside as a passer, in my opinion. So they went with the higher floor, man. We'll see if they're right or not, but higher floor with a dynamic ability to run the football. So we'll see if they're right or wrong.
How quickly do you, I guess for both of you, I'll try to ask a professional leading question. How quickly do you think he develops into an NFL frame? Because
I don't think he ever does.
You don't think so? Because I think Lamar has grown into an NFL frame. His offseason photos always look year after year like, wow. He came in skinny as a rail. Saw him in college, like, oh, he is thin. He's fast, but he's thin. And
but he knew how to protect himself. He knew how to protect himself a lot better. But continue your
Daniels scares the hell out of me because I don't think he knows how to protect himself yet. And he was taking hits from college players last year that looked insane at times, just levitating off the ground, 180 degrees body posture. And now he's going to the NFL. Way different. How quickly does he get, I guess, ready for all that?
Well, I would say this is that he was up to 210 pounds in the pre-draft process at the pro day, but he played in the 200 to 204 pound range. The heaviest that I heard that he was at LSU this past year was 204. And, not putting my source out there, but the 204 was kind of hard to maintain for him, Sean. So I just think this is a kid that has a fast metabolism that just might struggle to be above 210 pounds. I just don't know if that's ever going to be a thing. So he needs to be, if he's going to be successful, he needs to learn how to protect himself better. He did it better at the end of the season. I will give him that. He was sliding more. He was contact more. Early in the season, he was running into a couple car crashes, man. It was a couple really bad shots early on, but he just needs to learn how to protect himself. I know people want to compare him to RG3, and I know we've talked about that before, Joe, but RG3 was a lot more of he was more, in my opinion, of a just reckless
track
runner.
Star.
Yeah, well, track star, but he was a little bit of a reckless runner, though. I don't know if I would say Jayden's a reckless runner. He needs to learn how to slide more appropriately and to protect himself more occasionally. That's just kind of my thoughts on him, though.
RG3 was more reckless, and I think that Jayden doesn't do it all the time. It's just whenever he does, it looks horrific. Like you said, it looks like a car crash. He gets completely blown up. So I think that the frame needs to be built up. I think, Sean, you bring up a really good point here that the comparison for him is Lamar Jackson. He's a little bit more precise as a passer right now coming into the league than Lamar Jackson was. But as you brought up, Lamar's gotten bigger. Lamar's bulked up, not to the point where he's added 30 pounds, but he has filled out his frame.
He's more in the 220 range now.
Yeah. It looks like to kind of shift our focus here to.
I know who the pick is. Unfortunately, people are texting me the pick as spoilers, which just sucks. But
yeah, I'm seeing some people texting about. Well, are people texting you because they're there? Like, what? How are people getting?
I'm gonna throw this guy under the bus because I don't care. Okay, Ari Mirov, or however the heck you pronounce his name. My Sports Update. He's always one that leaks everything, so that's how everyone knows.
Oh, is he tweeting? Did he tweet
live
it?
tweets? Well, I mean, but I didn't see it on Twitter. Someone literally texted me that, and I'm
It's Drake Maye.
Drake Maye. Yeah, it's Drake Maye.
Man, I really wanted them to trade out. I really thought that the trade out would have been really fun for the chaos of this draft. But the New England Patriots, they take Drake Maye. They've figured out who is going to be the future of their franchise. I think that the pick is good because it at least sets them up for a developmental guy that doesn't need to be thrown into the fire right away. We can give him some time to develop. Jacoby Brissett can play for him. But I will say this here, though, Patriots fans, I will caution you. They need to be diligent and aggressive in trying to put together an offense that is going to work around him. They need to bolster the offensive line over the next couple of years. They need to add more receiving weapons, especially in this draft. Otherwise, this is just going to be Mac Jones all over again. This is not a guy who is going to succeed, who needs developing and also the right circumstance to develop in. He needs all that shit. Otherwise, it is going to go just as poorly. So, good pick, but there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done.
This might be the worst quarterback spot in the top 10, right? Well, actually, let's extend that. Top 13?
Mm-hmm.
This might be the worst quarterback spot. I mean, New England's barren. They just popped a little stat across the screen that I just saw. They didn't have a single wide receiver that had over 600 yards last year. No 600-yard receivers, bad offensive line. I don't know, man. I'd like
running back
the talent of Drake Maye. Ramondre Stevenson? I guess we like Ramondre Stevenson. I don't know.
I saw there was a lot of pushes for Ramondre last year, just in the public circles. And I'm sitting here like, are you watching football? I think I'm watching it. This is not an offense. This is a brutal offense to watch. And it's going to be, I think you're right. I think it's going to be brutal again, unless they just go offense all throughout this draft. You need to. It has to be a full reset.
Which means it's going to go one of two directions. Either Drake Maye is going to get out on the other side and he's going to be great and they're going to be able to rebuild the roster, or he could bust out because they just don't put enough around him.
This bothers me for me being a fan of Drake Maye. I really like him as a prospect. I've said that he gives me those Herbert Stroud vibes where like he might not be fully there yet, but he's just such a good playmaker that he's going to go out there and find ways to succeed. But he's not landing in the same situations that the Chargers and the Texans had. So there is a lot of boom or bust with this. Like there needs to be some carefulness and there needs to be some proper preparation. I'm just really worried that because this team, it might be the worst roster in the NFL right now. Is that too far to go and say
offensively? Offensively, I think it might be the worst. I mean, defensively, they're always a good defense, and obviously Jared Mayo is the head coach, so I think they'll be fine there. But Sean, I'll ask you this one. Sean, ready? So, how does this wide receiver room sound to you? Let me know how this gives you some vigor for the future of the New England Patriots. Okay.
Okay.
KJ Osborne, Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, Jalen Reagor, Tyquan Thornton, and Juju Smith-Schuster. That is the two deep for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate, and that's just that's terrible. It's terrible top to bottom. And the wide receiver room matters. It matters. There were teams that missed the playoffs last year because they had bad wide receiver rooms. Atlanta, terrible wide receiver room last year. Tennessee, terrible wide receiver room last year. You can't just be sitting with a bottom 4 wide receiver room and think you're going to make it to the Super Bowl. It doesn't happen. When does it?
All right, I'm bringing in Blake right now to react to the Jayden Daniels news. Blake, I'm justifiably getting cooked right now for the hat thing. By the way, I got a bone to pick with you,
Make him eat the hat, Blake. Make him eat the hat. He needs to eat the hat.
Put the stupid cigar away
very quickly, okay? Because I took so much shit from you for such a long time behind Jayden Daniels.
No, No, don't act like you're the victim here. Don't act like you're the victim.
I'm 1000% the victim.
You have had plenty of wrong takes that if I really had the time or
Name
cared
one.
enough,
Name
the
one
Washington one. The whole season. The whole season, you and I went at it over Washington, and every single week you told me they're not going to go to the playoff, and every single week I told you they're going to the playoff, and they made it to the national championship game. Look, I admit I was wrong. I admitted I was wrong a while ago, but good for Jayden Daniels. Okay, good for him. I'm glad that
I just found this old cigar in my closet, and I put it in my mouth to be cocky, and it tastes like dog shit. So
what's he get for doing?
Ryan, Sean, how we doing?
I'm starving. I would love a new era or a 47 or something else that I could get like a pro shop maybe.
I'm doing great. I'm always great when Joe's wrong about things, and it happens pretty often. So I'm good.
There we go.
And I'm getting a lot of people trying
Hey,
to.
by the way, I do think the Chargers are about to make a decision on Malik.
I feel like that ends up making the most sense.
Blake, better LSU quarterback, Joe Burrow or Jayden Daniels?
Joe Burrow, not remotely close.
Okay, then why are people on Twitter telling me that he's Joe Burrow-esque?
Probably because if you look at Joe versus Jayden statistically throughout the season, game in, game out, you wouldn't be able to pick which one it was.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, if you went stat by stat, and honestly, Sean, he broke a lot of his stats at LSU. And I think then you add in the running dynamic of it. So passing-wise, he did the same stuff. And then running, I think that's why they put it in the same category.
Marvin Harrison Jr. was just picked by the Arizona Cardinals.
Shocker.
I know this one's probably one of the least surprising picks that could have happened. Man, Ryan, first of all, I told you this. I really think that there weren't going to be that many trades this year, and this is already kind of coming to fruition. Everyone assumed that it was going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 for quarterbacks because of trade ups, and this maybe is a little bit of a slide for JJ McCarthy. Not going to jump to that. Marvin Harrison Jr., though, landing with the Arizona Cardinals, man, he might end up with one of the better situations for a rookie receiver. Kyler Murray needs a weapon, and I'm sure that he's going to have a wonderful time connecting with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, I mean, the great thing about Marvin is that he can move around a little bit, right? But I think that he gives them a dynamic into the boundary that they just don't have on this team. And obviously they would like to continue to add because they do have a really nice a threat to the middle of the field with Trey McBride with the breakout season he had. So I think it makes a lot of sense, man. This was one of the easiest ones in the draft as far as you just knew this was probably going to be the pick if he did last this long. I'm interested to see, Joe, though, because you started up a conversation there. The Chargers are a very interesting team at number 5, right? Because they are a team that has a couple players that I think they could go after at 2 different positions, that being Malik Neighbors at wide receiver, and then also they could go the offensive lineman route if they choose to. And if they choose to do that, they could afford to go back a couple spots if there's a team that does want to trade up for a JJ McCarthy. Not that there is someone that wants to do that, but if there is, this is the spot to do it, I think.
What does it say about Harbaugh? What does it say about Harbaugh if they take McCarthy?
Did you say the Giants just traded up?
No, I said I hope the Giants trade up.
Oh, you scared the shit out of me. What did you say, Sean? Sorry.
Who would they have gone and gotten?
JJ.
Yeah. That would have been awesome.
I still need a Daniel Jones, JJ McCarthy quarterback battle. It's a thing of dreams.
That would probably be the most inept quarterback battle of all time.
You might as well trade off every receiver. They're not going to get
Joe,
any work.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. JJ McCarthy is a winner, bro. Just an absolute winner.
Hey, man, look, I've said this a million times over. I have said this throughout the whole process. My mentions are just horrible right now, man.
Oh, dude, LSU fans are on your ass.
Why did you have to quote tweet me this morning, man? You couldn't just like let me be? Like you couldn't just like let me chill?
There's this wonderful technology called muting the conversation that you could easily do.
They're quote tweeting me.
Oh, okay.
They're all quote tweeting me.
In fairness, I quote tweeted the hat thing, and then within like 10 minutes, it was at like 15,000 views. I felt so bad.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Not good.
I mean, I've even got like people that have no association with LSU that are like retweeting it. I'm surprised. The most annoying part about it is that I had a typo and I didn't spell Jayden Daniels' name right, so I look like an even more of a heathen for not knowing. You know, his people think that I don't know his fucking name, so I look like even more of a dumbass.
Honestly, makes it even better if we're being honest.
How? Well, it makes it better for you because it makes me look even more like a dipshit.
Oh God, this is so great.
You think this is Malik here?
No, I don't know. I just texted somebody back and I said, "Has he gotten a phone call yet?" And they said no.
Oh, so it's probably not him.
I think
it's they're working the trade here.
I think it's a trade back or it's Joe Alt. It's my guess here. It's my guess.
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, I'm refreshing his text. He said no, not yet. So if he doesn't go here, I wonder if they trade. Well, who would trade up and who would they come and get?
Vikings trade up to take JJ.
Here's the question I have for all three of you. JJ McCarthy, wouldn't he not be there when you're selecting?
What do you mean?
Wouldn't he not be 10, 15? Like, why?
That's what I've been thinking. That's where you would naturally be placed at. No,
but the argument now here is, and the reason why these trades happen is that there's a couple of teams that need to figure out their quarterback situation, and there's only one guy worthy still on the board, so they're going to want to be the one in the best position to get him.
I think it's a supply versus demand thing, and I think the demand's high because literally we go from 11, 12, and 13, literally those three teams in a row, and they all need quarterbacks. Like they just desperately do, right?
All right, the Chargers decided not to trade the pick. They're going to keep it, and they're going to make a selection. I think a Notre Dame kid might come off the board here.
You think it's going to be Alt?
I think it might be.
Can I? So actually, I'll wait until the pick's in to share my thoughts on this because I think.
I told you this on Monday.
Yeah.
Like there was the conversation that we had about him, and it's Harbaugh esque. It's the most Harbaugh pick of all time.
Well, I'm gonna wait a second until the pick is in to share my thoughts on it. But
right, if it is him.
I mean, he's a great player. He is a pure left tackle, and he's the best left tackle in the class.
The problem is that they don't need a left tackle technically. That's
my point.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to take your thunder. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
But they need a hard-nosed running back culture, and Harbaugh saw himself win a national championship. I don't think Harbaugh's a dude that's going to do something that he hasn't seen himself do before. So I think he needed to see himself win a national championship, show that hard-nosed football, all that nonsense works fine, and now he can say maybe it translates. Maybe we get Alt and maybe we get a running back and we just churn you out.
Yeah, it's Alt.
It is.
Yeah, okay. That means I have to go write a reaction article right now. So that's gonna be fun.
All right. Are you gonna leave?
No, I'm just gonna mute myself and pretend I'm not here. Okay.
Sean,
just leave and come back if you do have to do that.
Sean, what position did you play? Were you a guard or a tackle?
I guess technically a tackle, but. Guard,
and Ryan, you watch him more than I do, so you probably would know better than I would.
Sure.
The only weakness that I see that he would have is not anchoring.
I thought it was his bend a little bit, but and that's so nitpicky for me because I thought he was super fluid.
Well, he's 6'9" though, so that's the thing that he's not going to bend the same ways as the other guys.
Well, and that goes to the point of anchoring too, right? Like if he moved to right tackle, he's going to face more power rush, right? Like theoretically. So if he does do that, the question would be about him anchoring for me. I don't know how, Sean, you would feel about that. And I mean, Ryan, you watch him more clearly than I did. It's just a pure speculation.
Yeah, anchoring actually wasn't the issue, I thought. I think that it's just a developing power profile in the run game more than anything. Like, I think he's an explosive kid out of his stance, but I just think and Sean, you can speak to this more, but like when you're explosive out of your stance, when you hit the point of contact, like you need lower leg drive to be able to displace gaps and move defenders at the point of attack, right? So he is, I believe, the second youngest offensive tackle in this class. He just turned 21, I believe, in February. So he's super young.
Shoot.
Yeah.
By the way,
so
can we curse on here or no?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, it's called Hack City. You think that we take this?
Y'all did talk about sex positions last week, so I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah, you know the answer. Our top commenter is Rack of Tits 69. You think that we've already unintentionally crossed that bridge, but the pick is officially in. What I was gonna get to earlier, though, with Joe Alt, I love him.
You want to hear a crazy stat, by the way, Joe? You want to hear a crazy stat
ahead.
Before that? Highest, and Notre Dame's obviously done pretty well with putting out NFL offensive linemen historically. Mm-hmm. Highest drafted offensive lineman from Notre Dame since 1969. Number 5.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Yeah, that's crazy considering all the other.
Quentin Nelson went number 6. Ronnie Stanley went number 6. Highest since 1969.
So my thoughts on this, though,
he's such a baby face, though. Look at him.
I know he looks like he's 12.
Pretty, though.
Thanks for that added. That was the real analysis.
What do you want me to say? Jesus Christ, look at her. She's on the screen.
I'm just giving you
doesn't
shit.
know how to be a human, Blake. You got to just let him be. He's been trying to lead in this clip. Go ahead.
Yeah. Joe Alt being a left tackle is bothersome for me, and it's annoying for me because he's best fitting at that position. But as we know, in negotiations, where he's playing is going to get brought up. Right tackles are getting paid less than left tackles. The Chargers are an organization that has skimped on paying players for the most part outside of Justin Herbert. So my fear here, you're drafting the guy, you're going to bump him the right tackle. There's a really good chance you don't have him for his second contract, and you're already starting things off in a rocky situation. I think he's going to be a great player, but I foresee that it seems like they're probably going to end up moving him elsewhere because Joe Alt should have a desire to want to play left tackle and to get paid like a left tackle.
Joe, can I push
a little dumb?
Can I push back on that?
Of course.
I agree with you. If Harbaugh wasn't their head coach, that goes completely against his style, though.
I just think that's an assumption, though, that he's going to be
the 49ers.
He's not the one making the contract decision.
Line in the country, I mean, in the NFL when he was there, though.
But my whole point is that he's going to want a left tackle contract, and I don't know if the Chargers of all teams is going to be willing to give it to him.
I think the differentiation between left tackle, right tackle salaries has become a lot less than what it was 5, 7, 10 years ago, though. Like, I don't think that it's like so undervalued. I hate the Colton Miller comp, by the way. I think that is an awful comp that I'm looking on my TV right now.
Really?
What does Lane Johnson get paid, and what is his comp to a left tackle?
I think he's in the top 10. After Sewell's new contract was released, he was in the top 10.
Oh, well, shit. Penny Sewell was what?
Yeah, he's the highest paid offensive
lineman. He's the highest paid offensive tackle in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. Good tackles get paid, Joe. Good tackles get paid, man.
God, he does have a baby face,
dude,
though.
Brian Kelly just retweeted Joe, I'm going to eat a hat thing.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, you're messing with me.
No, I'm not.
Brian Kelly?
No, he didn't. You're making fun of me. You're just messing with me.
Sanderson Radio quote tweeted that.
Brian Kelly season did, not Brian Kelly. I saw Brian Kelly retweet. Yeah. I almost lost my mind.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
Alt's going to get a big contract when he's 26. It's going to be a huge contract, and he's going to be
when he's 25, man. He's
25
right now.
25.
Yeah. Another LSU
You're not going to pick up his 5th year?
Another LSU receiver going to New York.
Oh, thank fucking God. Thank God.
Oh, come on. JJ season, man.
Hey, Sean Boutte. Come on.
Wait, for sure. He is absolutely
100%. He's going to the Giants.
Okay. So this is something that obviously I'm excited about. Being a Giants fan, they have needed a receiver, a take over a game type of a receiver. They haven't had anybody this dynamic since Odell. He's a great route runner. He's great after the catch. I am just so goddamn glad that they didn't take J.J. McCarthy. I think that they really liked Drake Maye. I think that if Drake Maye ended up sliding and was there, that they would have taken him. But do not show JJ McCarthy on this TV screen, man. They better be messing with us. I hope you're right. Blake.
No, I'm 100% accurate. It's Malik Neighbors.
Malik. Okay.
I wouldn't mess with you with that.
All right. Any other thoughts on this?
I think you're getting the ultimate yak dude, Joe. I mean, I don't know if he can go up in the air and catch it like Marvin Harrison Jr., but when it comes to Malik, the dude's going to get in space and he's going to mess you up. That's his MO. So get the ball in his hands, let him run, let him do what he does. Want to know where 25% of Jayden Daniels' yardage came from passing? It was from Malik Neighbors' yak yardage. So, I mean, look what he did against Kool-Aid McKinstry, not once, not twice, but 3 times in this past game. By the way, went up against him again and scored this past year.
Yeah, they're announcing it. Oh, thank God. Okay.
You really thought I'd be messing with you?
No. Not that I thought that you'd be messing with me, but like you never know what might happen in translation.
Joe,
from when you
congratulations, man. Congratulations. The Giants finally made the pick that they should have made. This is a glorious day, sir.
Malik Neighbors, no matter what.
All right. Here's a question, Joe. Malik Neighbors and Joe Alt still on the board. Where do you think the Giants go?
I think they would have still taken Malik Neighbors.
Think so?
I think that everything that they tried to do this pre-draft process, they were so goddamn bad at hiding what they were doing. Like to the point where JJ McCarthy literally said on Rich Eisen that he thought that he was going to get picked by them. I think that they were trying to create a market for somebody to trade up into that pick. And it didn't come to fruition, and they still ended up with a great player.
Can we backtrack to the Chargers selection real quick for a second? I don't even want to talk about Alt. Can we talk about how the talking heads last night tried telling us it was going to be J.C. Latham, multiple people, and that was dead wrong? Like zero, no part of that was true at all, obviously, because
what were their reasons behind J.C. Latham?
Well, I would assume that it's some type of parallel to Jim Harbaugh wants to be a downhill running team, and JC obviously is a massive kid and better in the run game, blah, blah, blah. But it was interesting. And Joe, I know we talked about this earlier. It was interesting conversation though, because Daniel Jeremiah has good relationships across the league, but he especially has good relationships with the Los Angeles Chargers, a team that he literally was a scout for and does radio for right now. And he was dead wrong on that pick. Dead wrong.
Well, but this is what I said to you earlier, though, that he is the type of person, and I'm not saying that this is a fault. I love Daniel Jeremiah. He's one of my favorite analysts that I've followed since I was, in high school, once I started getting into this. He, to a fault, takes any information and gets a lot of information and usually just pushes it forward. A lot of teams know that if they want to push a narrative, they're going to go to him with it. So part of me maybe thinks that they were trying to create, the Chargers were maybe trying to create some sort of a market. Maybe it's another team that was trying to create some sort of a market. I will say, though, however, the Titans here now picking, I mean, do you think that Latham could be in play? I think that he certainly could be if there was that much of a commotion.
I think it's between the two other tackles. I would guess it's either an Olufashanu pick or it's a Talisi Fuanga pick is my guess. That's my guess.
I nailed my prediction, by the way, saying that there weren't going to be that many trades.
Joe, it's
what you
said. 7 picks in.
I nailed my prediction. What kind of?
Yes,
it's been 6 picks.
You understand that
earlier,
Joe. You understand that we can pick between 11 and 32 as well, right? Not just the first 10 picks are up for grabs.
Obviously, but this is pick 7, and nobody tried to trade up for a quarterback in a year where everyone was saying that there's gonna be all these quarterback trades. None.
You know what? I nailed my prediction.
Joe, the only thing I'd say on McCarthy. My bad, Sean.
No, sorry, Blake.
Joe, the only thing I'd say about McCarthy is, the Vikings need a quarterback. Now where do they go?
So here, all right, here's the actual question though. Here's off of that point, Blake. It's a great point. Why did Minnesota go get number 23 if they were going to stay stagnant right now? What was the point of it? I want to know what the point is. I don't know. Are they just going to take whatever quarterback is there at 11? Like, let's say someone comes up for McCarthy at like 8 or something like that, right? Like, let's just in theory say he comes up at 8. Are they just going to take like Bo Nix or Michael Penix at 11 and take best player available at 23? Is that their strategy here? I don't understand what the Minnesota Vikings are doing. I'm actually confused about it.
You know what? What's kind of insane is that, remember how there was that camp of weird Viking fans that we all kind of made fun of that said that they were going to stay at 11 and they were going to take like 2 defensive players with both of these picks, and that they were going to.
Oh shit! Here, we just got done talking about J.C. Latham. Here comes J.C. Latham.
Really?
Yep.
That's the pick.
Yep.
Wow.
Good call, Joe. You're on fire tonight, man. Absolutely fire.
I know.
Dude, you know what's so funny though? Hold on. Can we? You know what's so goddamn funny? Last year, me and Joe did the damn draft. He missed 29 in a row, and he hadn't missed one now. So now he's coming back to 50-50, baby. That's what I like to hear.
You're making that up. You're making that up. That's not true. Let's react to
go Will Levis here.
Well, that was why I was wrong. I said every single pick was going to be.
Every single pick was Will Levis.
Oh, God.
To react to J.C. Latham, though, they needed an offensive lineman. It doesn't surprise me that Latham saw this much of a rise, because he kind of fits the description of a tackle that NFL teams might overlook some of their inconsistencies. Big power profile, huge ass. They needed offensive line help, and I think at the very least you're getting a mauling group. No, there's a press play on that one. You're gonna have a mauling group on the left side. Sean, I want to. What are your thoughts?
Sean, I want Sean to self-scout himself. Okay. Sean, would you say that you had a big ass when you played?
Oh, he did.
Hey! What are you chiming in for?
Thoughts on the Latham pick as a fellow big booty individual?
Oh, Jesus. Well, I think that the first time my ass was commented on was during a lap line, and I think about 5th grade. Girl named Shanice called me Big Booty Judy, and I've never recovered from it. Shanice Rhymes. Yeah, there it is. Full name. I've never forgotten it, of course. And it's just been that way. It's just
Jesus.
The cross I've been bearing for the last, 26 years. Jesus.
You need to clip that, by the way.
But Latham's good. I like him. The big ass is in. I think there was an NFL film feature, maybe a feature on the big ass. It's important. It's good to use for football. I was so terrible in the weight room, Blake. You wouldn't even understand. God awful. But the only time
lift, bro.
No, I could lift, but I was just terribly late bloomer, awful. But since I had such a big ass, I was able to still move defensive linemen, anchor a little bit, figure it out. And then J.C. Latham, top tier guy already. So
why do all of us big boys have big asses? That's the best. That's a bigger question.
The weight has to go somewhere, man. Has to go somewhere.
That's true. This Domino's has got to go somewhere.
But I had Alt higher than Latham, but I had Alt higher than everybody by a wide margin. Just his play style on that island was just really impressive last year. And when it was Notre Dame, Ohio State, he was the only player I watched that whole game. I just said, let's see how you do. Go ahead. It's Ohio State. Lights are on. Close game. He held up. He was strong. It was good. Latham, I think, is still built to that same cut from that same cloth, rather. But he's not Alt, in my opinion. Alt's he's a monster. He's a mountain.
Here's my issues with Latham. And Joe, you can give some context on Latham because I know you like him a lot more than I do.
Oh, I love JC Latham.
He's on the ground too much for my liking. I really question his balance, and I'm pretty sure he led the SEC in penalties this past year. Or was among the nation leaders in penalties. I
think you're right.
It's a weird combination, man. It's scary. I've been fooled when I first started evaluating by offensive tackles that look the parts, but then you just keep watching and they're just always on the ground. There's balance issues there. There's something about him that is unsettling to me. And that's just my only hesitation. Power, great. Size, fantastic. Great length. Everything is good on the surface, but balance issues for offensive linemen, usually a no-go for me.
Corey, the hat's still in the mail. The hat is going to be worn on Ruffino and Joe for the remainder of the season, as I've said. The reason why I liked J.C. Latham, as I mentioned, I really like the power profile. especially in his lower half. I think he's got some really powerful mitts. Like he'll really punch a dude when he has like really good leverage on a guy. When he drives down on somebody as well and he gives full effort, like he's killing some of these defensive linemen that he goes up against. I agree with you though. I think that the balance stuff needs to be fixed, but the balance stuff didn't show up as much for me until he was playing too heavy. This year he was too heavy, and then you saw he was a little more slimmed down and a little bit better frame at the NFL Combine. I think his weight right now, and if he can stay at this weight, and if you get him on a proper nutrition plan, there won't be any issues. For me, what's rare compared to all of the other guys in the class, except for maybe Olu Fashanu, is the flexibility. He is like weirdly flexible for how big and built he is. I just think for how a lot of times you see these guys with these big legs that just can't get low. And I think for how low he's able to stay. And then also he's kind of got this wiggle to the way that he's able to redirect. I'm very, some of the worst words I could have used to describe an offensive lineman.
Especially after you said he's got a massive ass.
I love his ass, man. He's got a great
I thought you were
ass.
talking about a slot receiver for a second. You started talking about wiggle and stuff.
But that's my whole point though, is I don't see a lot of offensive linemen, and it's what I noticed in the summer, that can just redirect and shift the way that he can, where his base can be in a different location than his upper body. I think that stuff is what makes him so special as a prospect.
I like his walkout. He walks like a protector. The lateral movement.
He picked up Goodell.
I think all of that changed when we saw Laramie Tunsil in the combine doing his side-to-side drills compared to everybody else when that was rolling. Blake, you're making a face.
You're never going to believe who the Falcons are taking.
Don't fuck around with me, Blake. Don't fuck.
Oh, they're taking JJ, aren't they?
No, they're fucking taking Michael Penix Jr.
No.
Stop!
Yeah.
No!
I'll be right back.
No!
Fucking go! Come on.
Right,
He's the future. He's the future. You zip it. I'm not putting my headphones on. I'm not doing it. Blake, I hope you're right.
I'm 1,000% correct.
No. What do I want?
There's no way he would have been. Sean's a Falcons fan, by the way. He would have been on the board.
I can tell. I mean,
he would have been on the board in the second round.
We needed a future
defensive end. You needed a defensive end. You just paid Kirk Cousins.
How many defensive ends have worked in Atlanta, by the way? There's been one. His name was John Abraham, and he was picked up in free agency.
How many years did you give Kirk Cousins?
4.
In fairness, Joe, historically speaking, when a quarterback sits for more than a year, the hit rate on the quarterback is about 97%.
Let's Jordan Love him. Let's get it going.
No, in all honesty now, there's
a
massive data point when you talk about there being a quarterback that gets selected and gets to sit for 2 years. Joey's going to sit for 2 years. However, Sean, to the point though, you could have waited. You could have gotten somebody here and then come back to get him because he was not going to get selected at 8.
I'm aware. But
whatever they here's my problem with it. Here's my problem. Go ahead.
If they're scouting gamer, accurate quarterback, that fits the needs exactly of what Atlanta's been looking for. The last 3 years have been so inconsistent with just accuracy from the quarterback position.
Well, remember what happened the last time you drafted a left-handed quarterback?
Look, Jesus, Blake. That one didn't go out. That one was a bit of a messy exit, is what I will qualify it as.
Or a buried exit, depending on how many dogs you want to try to go find. I mean,
I think that's the Saints fan talking right now.
But in all honesty, though, Sean, you could have waited, and you could have come back, and you didn't have to take this pick because nobody's taking him here.
I agree, but the last thing I wanted was, and now that he's not playing for Atlanta, he's going to have a stellar career. But the last thing I wanted was to see Dallas Turner getting eaten up on the outside in 14 weeks, and then for 3 weeks he has 2 sack games.
Joe and I talked about this, Sean. In all honesty, Joe, what was this on Monday? Sean, I'm going to be honest. Will Campbell at LSU killed his ass in the running game.
I watched all that film. I watched Will Campbell, Dallas Turner, Will Campbell beasting him. Will Campbell not getting drafted this year.
Yeah.
and still be seeing him as an underclassman. I'm out. When I saw that, I said, if you're not beating him and you're supposed to be the premier edge rusher in this class, then I'm good. I'm good off of it. We'll figure it out. Put Troy Anderson at edge.
I mean, he probably could play edge.
He should.
To reiterate kind of what Blake was saying, though, and I just tweeted this out. You could have used this pick to take the first edge, whichever one you like the most. Blake had pointed out yesterday that there might have been not a great meeting that had happened between Turner and the Falcons that maybe could have really changed the situation.
I told you about that. We talked about this.
I know. That's why.
Look, I don't mind the kid. I don't think he's off the field a bad kid. I literally said on Monday, I talked to people in the NFL who said that the worst meeting, I told you, Joe, this on Monday. Yeah. Sean, I have a really good friend of mine in the NFL. It's been there for over a decade. He said the worst human that he had ever spoken to was Dallas Turner.
Whoa. Wow. You didn't bring that part up on the show.
Well, I mean, he's being hyperbolic because he's a very emotional human being.
Right.
But he asked him about the hit about Jayden Daniels, and he said 4 little words, and it had a racial undertone in it. It had a couple of curse words in it, and he was like, all right. He called his GM, and he's like, I think, we're out. I'm out. I'm done.
I just think that to kind of get back to the pick, they could have, and I don't think anyone would have taken Michael Penix for most of the middle picks, especially because J.J. McCarthy was still on the board. You could have waited until pick 20 and traded back in and then picked him. They're trying to win right now. I just don't
until tomorrow. You could have waited until tomorrow.
Yes.
Unless you thought he was going to Minnesota, you could have waited until tomorrow.
The key thing is I have no idea, Sean, and correct me. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. I have no idea what the direction is. You know, you're going after Kirk Cousins, but you're drafting a quarterback. What is the goal here? Are you rebuilding or are you contending?
Well, Kirk Cousins is on a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year option.
I thought it was a 4-year deal. Am I wrong?
4-year deal.
You might be right, but I thought one of the years was an option.
It might be an option year. I need to tell Joe this. Joe.
Yeah.
I just had a scout call me for a different team, laughing about that pick.
Yeah,
actually laughing about that pick, dude. Actually laughing.
They can laugh if it's a reach.
Which pick? Michael Penix?
Michael Penix.
Gamer.
Yeah. Yes. What's the heck?
That's the one. You can't say he's a quarterback that didn't carry its. This is the bullshit I can't stand from draft dudes. Every year you glaze these guys that are either they won a national championship with a noodle arm or they're a guy that maybe made it to a good bowl game. And then I got a guy in Michael Penix Jr. making a playoff run with Washington.
I like Michael Penix. We like him.
I love it.
Whoa.
You're not worried
about Sean, I think you're misunderstanding the controversy here is that you just paid a quarterback a lot of money and you just drafted a guy to be his backup that's going to be 24 years old as a rookie. I think that's more the.
I'm well aware of the circumstances with them picking him that high. I'm well aware.
It's bonkers, man.
There are guys that they could have gotten. I don't think Atlanta, without a trade, really knows how to draft skill position guys that well or use them. Let's at least get a quarterback. Let's at least keep striking on quarterbacks because I'd rather have Penix than Nix, and I'd rather have Penix than McCarthy. And then if we're going to do another gambit later on in the 5th or 6th round, get a G5 guy, that's cool too. But if you don't have the guy at quarterback and there's a guy that you do like in the draft, why don't you draft him every year? You should. Because it's a lottery. Why would you not play the lottery if you are forced to play the lottery in the draft every year?
Because you could
not join that.
Because you could have played the lottery and made your team better.
Why? Right. Then they like their numbers. And they like their numbers with the Penix.
Well,
those are the numbers
here's
that they
the
chose.
ultimate question.
Yeah, big Penix
2018
energy.
He tore his ACL. 2020 he tore his ACL. He's got 2 separated shoulders. So, I mean, my question
and he's
becomes,
24. He's our age, Sean.
Do you think he's going to be suiting up week 1, Joe? He's not our age.
No.
I'm 26. Okay. You're about to be 26. You better better take the age.
I think he's actually. Wait. I think he's
No, he's gonna be 24 in like 2 weeks. I think.
All right. Well, look, Roma Dunze is going here at 9, and the Vikings traded up to 10 and traded with the Jets. So here comes
you soy boy Jets. Freaking, you did all these moves, and you got talked into moving up one spot. You bunch of losers.
What's wrong with that? You're probably still gonna get the player you wanted 11. You
No
probably got a
nuts
third round pick
having.
for it.
No,
if you moved up
stay
one
at
spot for
11.
JJ McCarthy, though, would the Jets have
stay at
taken JJ
11.
McCarthy?
What, Joe? Joe, I can pick a guy at 10,
You're gonna bring
or I
two
can
head
pick the
cases
same
in
guy
that
at
quarterback
11
room,
and have an extra
you're a
third round
madman.
pick. I don't understand.
You're a
I
madman.
don't
Right,
understand.
just got rid of one head case, and it wasn't
What
even
is your
his fault.
point?
You
Hey,
can't.
he's a MILF lover, Sean.
We have two conversations having.
Yeah, Joe, break out the rooms in two. We'll take the big fellas in one room, and you guys with the glasses can go.
If you got a big ass, go to the left. If you don't have a big ass, go to the right.
Did we just invent a new version of podcast where
Yeah.
you have two conversations at the same time, and then you try to see which one dominates more?
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit! It's JJ McCarthy for the Vikings.
Okay. All right. We're moving ahead really quickly here. Let's get a quick reaction here to Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze ends up being the Bears pick at number 9. We speculated at the beginning maybe they go offensive tackle, but you can't go wrong adding another receiver. It makes a lot of sense for the fact that Keenan Allen's probably just going to be here for the upcoming year, and then his future is to be determined. But guys, what do we think of this? This receiving room is unbelievably gifted, and I think it furthers my point that the Bears, by year 2 under Caleb Williams in 2025, should be competing and could be winning the NFC North.
Well, I think it's what you needed, right? With the wide receiver room you have DJ Moore, who's a little bit of an inside-out, explosive dude, can work in space, yak type of guy. You have Keenan Allen, who's your veteran, crafty slots, understands how to attack leverage, intermediate separator. But you don't really have anybody on the outside that gives you juice consistently, right? That has length that brings to the table. And Rome obviously has those things, right? So I think they mix together well. And the great thing is that Rome's actually a pretty good route runner as well. So if they don't re-sign Keenan Allen after this year, he can kind of take some of the slot role too, if they really want him to do that type of stuff. So I think it makes a ton of sense, man. We have been penciling in for months now, quarterback at 1, best pass catcher available at 9. I would argue that Brock Bowers is the best pass catcher, but they have Cole Kmet on the roster, so maybe not quite as big a need as wide receiver. But they've got who they perceive to be the best pass catcher on the board at 9, and they got their quarterback at number 1. So I think it makes a ton of sense.
Caleb Williams doesn't have any excuses at this given moment.
That's a good point.
No excuses. If he fails, then he's going to fail massively. Maybe he can find somebody in Chicago to paint his nails.
Chicago's
you know what I think, Sean? You know what I think? I think they should have drafted JJ at 9, so you have 2 quarterbacks to battle it out, because you can never have enough good quarterbacks, man. You can never have enough. They fight it out in camp. You trying to be funny.
I appreciate that.
Ryan, thoughts on Rome?
Got Carson Wentz.
Or not Ryan.
Talk trash.
Sean, thoughts on Rome?
I'll go back up for backup with him. Rome Odunze's a dog. It's great. Why not? He bossed up every time he needed to for Washington. That's what he did. And when he was on the field and you knew it was going to Odunze, he still came down with the ball. And I like him a lot. And then him and DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, it's a bevy of riches. It is. I don't think Keenan's long for the Bears, if that's what it is, but a mentorship from that guy who knows how to run routes that well for those 2 guys, also fantastic. I mean, Keenan's also going to be helping teach Caleb Williams how to play quarterback.
Well,
and another good one.
Well, another thing too, and I know this isn't wide receiver related, but I mean, they're just loading up everywhere. Like the sweat deal that they had last year in the middle of the season. I mean, they got a lot of good pieces, though, man.
Well, it's about time they got aggressive instead of just being passive and reactionary. They're actually at least trying to take some destiny in their own hands.
That's a good way of putting it.
I like Ryan's thought, though. Why would teams pass on Bowers more than Odunze? Like, why is?
I don't think any of these teams picking. I don't think the teams that are picking here, a tight end's a luxury pick, in my opinion. I think that it's always been deemed that way, that the general consensus is going to fall in love. It's a luxury in the sense that if your team's not good and you don't have your quarterback figured out and your offensive line figured out, adding a really good tight end doesn't take you over the top. Adding a good tight end turns you into a playoff contending team to a playoff winning
adding
team.
an elite player like Brock Bowers could take you over the top, Joe. Adding an elite football player could take you over
I don't disagree with that logic. All I'm saying is I think a lot of these teams weren't really super hungry for tight ends, and they were just saying to themselves, like, let's try to address other needs.
Can I call my shot here? Number 11. That's going to be Brock Bowers to the New York Jets. I'm calling my shot now.
That'd be massive.
Wait, let's for sure. JJ McCarthy though is
it's 100%.
All right, let's talk about.
That's our first trade of the night, Joe. Here we go, baby.
Hey, we're
get it going.
The under's pacing.
Hey, we have more quarterbacks selected in the first 10 picks than we do trades. You would have thought, Joe, if you asked him on Monday, that would have been the opposite.
I'm a savant over here. I got this right. JJ McCarthy though. I mean, we've all kind of shared our thoughts on this. It's very hit or miss pick. I don't think that he is as high ceiling as everybody depicts him to be, but he could be a very steady starter. The Vikings need to not rush him onto the field. This is going to be a multi-year project. It's good for them, though, that they get to keep this 23rd overall pick, though. I will say that is probably the biggest benefit from this whole situation is that the Falcons did what they did. We're not going to rehash that. It helps set them up where they don't have to give up too much capital in order to go and get their guy, and their future should be figured out, and they need to continue to build the roster around him. There's just a lot of holes that need to be figured out in that time period.
I still think he only plays 40 games in the NFL. Starts.
Really? You think he's that bad?
Not that bad, but I think Minnesota crushes him, unfortunately. I mean, Detroit's going to be good this year. Green Bay is going to be good this year. The Bears are going to be amped up. They could go 0-6 within their division.
That's a really good point.
And it's really hard for rookies. And I'm not picking on McCarthy, but McCarthy has been open about a lot of his mental health stuff. And I know he's a supreme athlete. That's what guys that go in the NFL, that's what they are. But there's been a lot of supreme athletes in the NFL. And being a quarterback on a team that's going to be fourth place in your division, Joe, where's your optimism level on Bryce Young? Because he had such a high stock going into year 2, really bad first year with a bad team. I mean, McCarthy's afforded better options in Minnesota than Bryce Young was given, but I still don't think he gets past 40. It's just they can't all be hits in this class. McCarthy is going to be one of the, I think, a dud.
He's Zach Wilson, Joe. I mean, he's Zach Wilson in a lot of ways. He's more Zach Wilson than anybody in this draft.
I called him Zach Wilson on a podcast one time. Remember, Joe?
Zach Wilson was much more pompous. What are you drinking there, Sean? Was
so
much more pompous than JJ.
I'm not talking about personality.
But I think that was why that he didn't work, though, is that he showed up in New York.
So what was his first pass against Alabama in the Rose Bowl?
It was a shit throw to the sideline. They almost got picked off.
My point being,
hey, I brought that up a million times. I've said that
pass was terrible. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know who else lost a game this year for the Jets when they were still in somewhat of playoff contention? Was fucking Zach Wilson.
Well, all I'm saying though is that I think that because I'm not saying that JJ is going to succeed because he's more humble, but I don't like the comparison because Zach Wilson didn't work because you could tell that nobody was vibing with him on that roster. He didn't fit culturally in New York. It was just a fit that didn't make sense
because he was too busy hitting on their moms. He was too busy hitting on their moms and stuff.
Right, and then that whole stupid thing. JJ McCarthy's too much of a golden.
All right, I got a question. I got a question for everybody. Does it bother you that they were winning games with him being zero factor whatsoever?
Yes.
Yeah, incredibly. Yes.
Okay.
So, you're the quarterback.
Let me ask you this question. What if there was a quarterback in the last couple of years that won a national championship that would have had the same type of things happen to him, but Joe said he was a horrible college quarterback? What would y'all have said?
Horrible college quarterback. Who are you talking about?
Stetson Bennett.
Oh.
He's not
a horrible college quarterback. He's not a horrible.
What is it with you today and just trying to like rehash all of my old takes that like were bad? You're just trying to stab me even further.
What you need to do is start getting a book and writing down all of what you think my bad takes are, so then you can rehash.
No, because I don't have enough time or energy for that.
No, you know why you can't do it? Because I don't have them. That's why.
Hey Blake, I have a question for you. Blake, I got a quick one for you. Coming out of college, just strictly coming out of college, who did you have scouted higher between Deshaun Kaiser and Deshaun Watson? Who did you think was going to be a better NFL quarterback?
Deshaun Watson.
Oh, okay. Ryan?
I also had Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. I think I had Deshaun Watson. Joe?
You didn't watch any film, and neither did I watch any film. It was just a dipshit take I had as a freshman in college.
You were very adamant about it.
Yeah,
it was a big
dude. They only had to move up a spot for a 4th and 5th round pick.
Joe was also Sean. Joe was also a big Mitch Trubisky fan. I don't know if you remember him coming out.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
You were big on him.
Shit up.
Like
no, I wasn't.
Mobility.
Hey, did y'all ever?
That was a top-ranked player in the class.
Did y'all ever listen? Speaking of that draft, the Trubisky draft, did y'all ever listen to Sean Payton when he was with Fox, and Andy Reid called him about the Pat Mahomes thing? Andy Reid went into the owners. Who's the owners? The Hunts, right, of Kansas City,
yeah,
and said either trade up before New Orleans to take this kid, or I'm retiring.
Really?
Yeah, and like Andy, and this is all from Sean Payton. Okay, like I don't know if it's true, but it's from Sean. And Sean said, "You son of a bitch, we were going to take him at 14."
I wonder if that would have worked.
Oh, Mahomes in New Orleans? Oh,
yeah,
I would be having a mullet right now. I would get Jerry curls in my mullet.
Oh my God! Well, I mean, him and Sean Payton would have been a fun fit.
Oh,
that
hell
offense.
Yeah! Oh God,
that would have been nuts.
Throw to.
Who would he have thrown to then? Probably
Mike Route.
No, they had who was that back then in 18? I can't remember.
Yeah, who was carving us up, pissing me off?
Michael Thomas.
Jets gonna protect Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, it took an offensive lineman?
Olu Fashanu.
Joe, who was my Fashanu comp, bro? Do you remember this one?
Rickashaw Ferguson. I remember
Rickashaw Ferguson was the comp for Olu Fashanu.
Yep. 10,000 straight snaps.
Let's react to it.
Is that what it was? 10,000?
I think he was in the 10,000 club.
That's wild.
I didn't get to see a lot of him. What do y'all think about him? I didn't get to watch him a lot.
Great pass protector, really good core strength, struggles to sustain blocks in the run game and kind of falls off blocks in the run game, which is kind of weird. He's got historically small hands. That's just a weird note out there, but he's only got 8-inch hands as an offensive tackle. So there you go.
Quick
hands? Yeah, he's got
8-inch hands.
He's got long arms.
Hands.
Sean, what were you saying? Go ahead.
Fashanu's got a good build. And he's just such a smooth pass protector. He can let you get he can let you Jesus Blake. He can let you get he can run you around the ring if he wants to. He can push you inside if he wants to. He keeps guys at arm's reach. I like him. He's a smooth pass protecting offensive lineman. And if you want to protect the quarterback, that's fine. I don't think the Jets' offseason plan is to mow anybody down in the running game. I think it's keep this doofus in the backfield upright.
So somebody at Penn State that I know that's in their department told me that he has a 6-pack at 320 pounds. So to put his core strength into, yeah.
Him and Tyron.
I know. Well, that's the crazy thing. You're putting two robots on that offensive line. I wonder.
I swear to God, I will throw this computer if what I think is going to happen at 14 happens at 14.
Oh, come on, 14.
Oh, I hope it's some dumb shit.
If it's Brock Bowers, I swear to God, I'm breaking.
That's a great pick. Why would you be upset over that?
Because I love it.
To finish up on Fashanu, though, it's a great pick because you're getting a prototypical offensive lineman that's got all the traits that you're talking about here that you mentioned, Sean. I just kind of wonder where you're going to put him in year one. I wonder where he is going to play because you've Tyron Smith. You went and got Morgan Moses. Are you going to move one of those guys into guard? Is Olu Fashanu going to bump into guard?
No, you're gonna put Fashanu at right tackle. You're gonna let Moses be a swing guy. Is what you're gonna do. I think that's what they're gonna do.
Didn't they trade a decent pick for him? Becton's still there.
I think he's there, but they gave up. They gave up on him though. It seems like
put him at guard. Just let him pull. He's such an athlete. Just let him pull at guard.
Dude, Sean, you will know this too. He's too fat to be a left tackle.
His body comp is
he's
great.
Way too fat.
Well, whatever Donald Penn had in him to have him play for 14 years, and maybe it was because of his era and defensive ends were slower, but there were still fast defensive ends, and he played for a while. Becton should play for a while. Yeah. And he had terrible body composition, but Becton doesn't. He's gotten better at it. there's something with his lower body just isn't strong enough or built well enough for him to be sustainable in football. But he's such an impact player and such a massive, good athlete that you have to try to get him on the offensive line. I think he can make a difference. And I like that they brought in a bunch of veterans. That's great. Moses is solid. Tyron Smith is a beast. And now, yeah, Fashanu, great. Let's bring in a young guy, teach him all the ropes with these savvy vets. Could be looking at All-Pro.
The thing about Fashanu, too, obviously, is Tyron Smith is often injured. So I think if he plays right tackle, then you could just swing him over to left when the need arises.
Well, there's nobody really to learn better from than him, though.
Yeah, that's a great point.
No,
I saw somebody posted a clip of like Tyron in his peak of him doing a pass set, and I don't know how anybody got around that dude. This is a little bit of an off-topic comment that I'm making here. He was just so enormous and so built like a power lifter, like not like an offensive lineman. He was built like a power lifter with how wide and big his shoulders were, and he could beat anybody to their first step. I have no idea how anybody got around him, and it sucks that he's all banged up now and that he can't stay healthy. I guess it's kind of the curse of being such a physical freak for how long he was.
You want to hear something crazy? We are about to be at pick 12, and there hasn't been a single defensive player taken yet.
Right.
There's only been one trade. I wonder who predicted that.
Oh, man, I want to keep talking about trades. I'm talking about defensive players right now, honestly.
Oh, shit. They're going Bo Nix.
This one I had a feeling was going to happen.
No, they're not.
Where are you seeing this so quickly? Are you watching like a stream that's ahead of us or something?
I'm in a fucking text thread.
I don't know if I like that or not.
Denver.
6 quarterbacks in the first 12
Dude, they're
picks.
going fucking Bo Nix. This is such a Sean Payton move.
You know the worst part is that Bo Nix actually does fit Sean Payton pretty well, if we're being honest with ourselves. But it's way too early at 12. Like way too early at 12.
Well, it seems
He
like
sees Drew in it.
seems like one team set a precedent at 8.
Brian,
and decided
I
to throw
swear to
everyone into
God,
chaos.
I swear to God, he sees Drew in him.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I promise, dude. I've been around this dude for 17 years.
Bo Nix is cool, smart, not dorky, tall, good arm. Didn't play for the Saints for 15 years.
All right, big ass.
Whack Purdue.
Look here, big ass. All right, we're not going to be talking shit.
My guy just retired. This year.
You expected Michael Penix Jr. at 8, and you're going to make fun of the Saints.
Well, look, I'm kind of just
the GOAT.
I'm kind of just who's the GOAT? I'm just kind of hoping that we're both in the same boat here. I don't think I'm a fan of Terry Fontenot, and I don't like that you passed him over to us. I like seeing him.
Thank you for taking out our garbage. Thank you. That's what Atlanta mostly does.
It is that. Whoever takes a GM from their arch rival. That's so dumb in the NFL.
That's a very good point. Blake, you bring up a good point though, and it's something that I've brought up before. A lot of the radio hits that I've done that they've asked me about Bo Nix, or they've asked me like, oh, if he goes in the first round, where could he land? If we look at what Sean Payton and what was successful with Drew Brees, there's no direct comparison between the two. Drew Brees, yes, at times early on in his career was stretching the field. He was aggressive. He had a great arm despite not being a very big quarterback. That was something that I think is often easily forgotten because we remember the last 5 years where he didn't have that same arm strength and he was picking you apart with his decision-making. I think that Bo Nix has both sides of these things. I think Bo Nix has a bigger arm than people recall, and he's also really good in short to intermediate areas. He's a really good athlete. I agree here. It is an overpick, like you said, Ryan. This is similar to the Michael Penix thing where they could have totally come back into the back end of the first round and gotten him. But for them of being in a much more desperate quarterback situation, he could start right away. He could start right now if they nail the rest of their draft, and could be a pretty good rookie.
I have a question. What does Bo Nix do that wows you?
The decision making.
He feels like a grown up.
Yeah, he's like
at least
40.
in college. He felt like maybe it was just because of his age and because I've watched him for so long. But when he was playing, at least at Oregon, it felt like he knew the game of football at the quarterback position well enough to get some wins and not be Bo Nix at Auburn.
Question:
that
Does
impressed
him
me.
leaving the SEC to go to the Pac-12 and him playing lesser defense ever worry you?
He was getting chewed up in the SEC, and I think he was getting chewed up not as much on the field as he was just like mentally. I mean, you do bad at if you do bad at Auburn, you're just in a bad spot. You get out. It's because they're just.
In fairness, he had some really shitty coaching.
Very shitty.
I mean, in fairness, I mean, Brian Harsin was ass. I mean, we've talked about more about ass on this show than anything. The size of Brian Harsin's ass is Sean Anderson. Okay, that's how big of ass he was. It's just that massive of ass. And then let's not forget about. Remember when he was sleeping with his secretary?
Blake, that has nothing to do. We're talking about Bo Nix.
Harsin was doing all that?
No, allegedly.
Allegedly. Wait, that has something to do with it. That has something to do with it. He's supposed to be coaching the guy, and he's
okay. The secretary. Okay, he couldn't focus on football, so maybe he got away, and
Ryan brings up the most hilarious rabbit hole that we could create the most insane conspiracy theory that Bo Nix's development was stunted, but then boosted by leaving because Brian Harsin was allegedly banging his secretary.
Yeah, the guy's supposed to be
1,000% Clessy. That was her name, Clessy from Boise State. She was also Miss Idaho.
Oh no!
That's
you know what? I'm flipping back around on this.
That's a bad decision by Brian making that hire. Who approved that?
I also don't know if I would want to be called Miss Idaho if I was a woman, but yeah, there's that though.
Oh, that's a good point.
God,
I bet Rack knows her address.
Oh God.
Imagine
we're about to get a paragraph about her.
Just imagine being a good-looking young lady that just won a pageant, and you have to walk up and accept a sash that says Miss Idaho. Here's Miss Idaho. There you go.
Is this the most quarterback selected in the first round ever?
I think it's tied for the most. I think the last time was 19.
If it was 98, would that not be the Tom Brady draft?
No.
I'd rather be Miss Idaho than Miss New Hampshire, I think.
No, there's some.
What about Miss Rhode Island? I mean, Jesus Christ!
No, brother. You were not in Rhode Island.
There's a lot of beaches in Rhode Island. It's got to be landlocked.
Bro, but it's never above 85 degrees. Sean, it's April 25th. Me and my kids went to the zoo today, and it was 97 degrees.
Oh, so the Tigers weren't out? Jeez, God, what are you doing? What are you watching? What animals are out in 97 degrees in Louisiana? You're in the 80s.
Oh, dude.
You guys are
penguins are dead.
You guys walk around.
Dude, you should have seen, dude. These damn animals, bro.
Looks like a yellow lab.
I'm surprised Pete is not all over that. Where there's just one yellow lab. The rest of them are in their enclosures.
There shouldn't be any zoos.
Hey,
south of Kansas.
The Audubon Zoo, man, it's massive in New Orleans. Hey, you want to hear a crazy story though? When Hurricane Katrina hit, most of those animals got out and they had to go find them.
Oh,
that's kind of depressing.
Could you imagine riding through the storm and then a lion is in your front yard?
I would be very uncomfortable with that.
You think you get away from the storm and you're safe and you're in your attic and there's a shark that's pulling up on you? No, I wouldn't feel very good about that. I wonder who this Raiders pick is.
Oh, it's going to be Brock Bowers. Shit.
What?
The Raiders?
No, come on, man. I don't believe
Brock
that one.
Bowers at 13.
To go with Mayer?
All right, that's stupid. That's the worst pick of the first round.
Are they trying to do a Buffalo?
Joe, that is not the first pick. That is not the worst pick of the first round. Come on, Joe.
So far, I mean, at least the Atlanta's beating them out. Outside of Atlanta.
Enjoy Neighbors not getting the ball all year. That could be great.
Hey, hold on. With all due respect, Bo Nix is the worst pick in this draft so far.
To Denver.
They
had nothing though. Denver was so desolate. They would at least they had a pick.
Y'all don't. Y'all are higher on him than I am. I don't think he can play.
I always forget that you have the SEC colored lenses on. You look at things.
I don't have no.
You just not in like a derogatory way, but you do look at things differently because you pay such more attention to these guys.
No, but even against Washington this year, what did he do? What did he do great? Nothing. The most the yards he had in the championship game, like 280 of them came from throws with inside 10 yards. He can't. That's Bo Nix. That will always be Bo Nix.
Well, then, you know what? Sean Payton loves throwing within 10 yards in Denver.
Bring up a goddamn good point.
I mean, goddamn. Nobody threw behind the line of scrimmage more than Russell Wilson last year, I think, since the 60s. Ryan, you might have mentioned that a little bit ago, maybe on an appearance. But it works out then. Because maybe you have a guy that can drive the ball over the middle a little bit, some youth, not Russell Wilson's apathetic ass back there, just going through the motions. If you're going to throw it, you might as well have a new guy.
I hate the Raiders.
Yeah, that is.
I haven't understood their vision once since moving to Vegas. Not once have I understood what they were trying to do.
Yeah, wait, let's talk about this. So they're taking Brock Bowers. Ryan, I want to come to you on this one because you and I were fans of the Michael Mayer fit at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a way for this ecosystem to work where the two of them can be productive, but
yeah,
they're both similar players because they're both well-rounded. Bowers is the better athlete. They're not similar players, but it's not like one's a pure blocker and one of them's a pure athlete.
Well, I mean, I think of it pretty easily is that, obviously when you're in 12 personnel, they're just going to be on the field together and Brock's going to be the movement-based guy. Mayer's going to be more in line. But I think in 11 personnel, you could throw Brock out there as a big slot or as a boundary receiver at times if you felt like it. Like, I think the fit will be fine. I'm just a little perplexed why that's the strategy you're going to here. I mean, I think it's purely stated, and I don't know if you guys agree with this. I think the Raiders just said that, hey, bro, like our roster sucks. We need to take the best player available. And Brock Bowers is the best player available. That's what they chose to do.
Has there still not been a defensive player selected?
No.
Then here comes the Saints. They're about to pick one.
I bet it's an edge rusher. I think though that I don't hate it. You potentially, I mean, this isn't crazy to say. The Raiders might have the best tight end room right now in the NFL. I can't think of another team that has Ryan. I'm gonna remove you really quick.
It would have to be Green Bay or Buffalo. That would compete with it, just because of depth and the first round talent that they have in the room.
They're going to have a extremely deep and talented tight end room where either guy is going to be able to play off of one another, as Ryan just talked about there with the pick. But it just feels weird knowing that this was a really good receiver class and they're a team that needs receivers. You've already got a tight end that if you gave him a season to develop could have turned into a productive player and have played as a supplemental role. And then Brian Thomas Jr. would have been the better pick for me. Like I would have been more excited if it was Brian Thomas Jr.
They're either going to roll with Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew this season. That's who they're rolling with at quarterback.
I guess it's Gardner.
That's just pointless. That's why it's.
I think that they were going to take Penix.
Not unless you're building for when you get your quarterback in.
Who do they want? Shedeur next year? They tank terribly this year. Get Shedeur, trade up. Wouldn't be terrible. I kind of wanted Shedeur.
Carson Beck. You reunite Bowers with Carson Beck. I mean, that could be a really dangerous situation if you end up putting that room together. Potentially, if you have Beck, Bowers, Mayer, and Devontae Adams, if he's still there.
This draft is drunk, though.
Oh, absolutely. This is not going in any measure or degree of expectation. This is probably the most incorrect draft that we have ever had based on what the media has pushed. Because J.J. McCarthy didn't go in the top 5, nor did he go in the top 10.
Did anybody really think, or do you really think Atlanta would have told them that they were taking Michael Penix Jr.?
Well, the funniest part about this, though, and again, we had information on the Falcons situation. It was like one of the worst kept secrets at the combine that they wanted Dallas Turner. So they were really vocal about it. And it goes to show you that whenever there's too much outward conversation on a pick, it's usually wrong.
But like what I told you on Monday, I told you a conversation that I had with somebody that they thought that he was Joe, literally our conversation, on Monday, our conversation went as followed, and I'm paraphrasing. They thought he was the worst interview that they had ever done. This dude's been in here in over a decade. And, Joe, this dude, I treat him like my brother.
It's insane. shit. I'm surprised that we've got no defensive players. I wonder if this is Turner or if this is Verse.
If they go Turner, I swear to God, I'm gonna throw up. I think he's a good player, but they need a tackle. Who's the highest tackle on the board right now?
Taliesin Fuaga from Oregon State. That would be a great pick if they didn't have to move and they were still in a position to draft him.
Well, that's where they're going.
Yeah, I would imagine that Fuaga makes.
They don't have a tackle, and Ryan Ramczyk's knees are worse than bone marrow. Okay, like they need a tackle. They're going to go tackle here. It's going to be the most underwhelming pick ever.
Yeah, the Saints didn't really have much room to do anything exciting because they've invested in the offensive line, but it hasn't. Their offensive line hasn't stayed healthy, and it's kind of deteriorated. Hold on one second. I got to change my camera battery. Of course, it's right when Sean's on the.
Now it's just me and you, big fella.
Yeah, I mean, this is the show that everyone's been asking for a while. Oh, what happened to Joe? His camera died?
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't it? I hate that camera. I hate that camera more than anything else.
Sean, you know what I told him? I'm like, bro, like I literally use one of those things where you can you have a battery that you can plug in like to the wall, right? Like
it's just got constant power.
I never run, my camera never runs out. And he's like, okay, I'm going to get one. And he never gets one.
I've never heard of a camera that unless it was just a little laptop camera that didn't have an option to plug into power.
Right.
I'm sure it does, but he will overlook it. Are the Saints still on the clock?
Yeah.
Oh God.
With the picks in, I just don't know who it is.
Who could they be taking?
It's got to be a tackle. It's Taliesin Fuaga.
That would work. I feel like they draft a tackle every other. Yeah, Penning in 22.
Yeah, he sucks.
He hasn't been fruitful.
Yeah, he sucks.
God, he's.
Do you know what the pick is?
I thought he would have been.
Taliesin Fuaga.
They are taking Fuaga. Okay, that's. I'll write that in. They'll lead us in. But like I didn't explain it to you. I told Sean and I told Ryan this. The idea was every time a pick was in, I was gonna pause for a second and then we were gonna lead in and react because I'm gonna go clip it.
There was also supposed to be a game where Sean would take a guess at what the pick would be, and then if he got it right, he got a shot.
You popped the champagne, so it didn't even matter.
Well, I popped the Remy Martin. That's all. I don't.
You popped the Remy on to celebrate the. You're
VSOP too, brother. No. I will not drink the whole thing. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Fight Club later. Who knows?
The Fuaga pick, as we mentioned a second ago, is one that works for what their needs are. They needed to figure out their offensive line because it was starting to age out. It was starting to get banged up. The Penning pick was a little bit inconsistent. He might be a little bit better playing inside a guard. But now you're getting this mauling presence. It's not sexy.
He'd be better going to Waffle House and flipping waffles.
Do you flip waffles?
Yeah. You know at Waffle House, they put the mix in.
No. Why would he know?
I don't know if I count that as flipping.
He wouldn't know.
It's kind of like turning.
You live with a guy and you never took him to Waffle House?
No. We went to Waffle House.
I go to our late night destination whenever we're in the South. So he has had Waffle House. He does appreciate Waffle House, but I don't think he knows the inner workings and how it really gets down.
Dude, we literally, when we used to walk home from the bar where there was a Waffle House and my fat ass would stop in there.
I'm so jealous. It's so good.
I wish we had that. I wish we had that in Rhode Island. The Fuaga pick, though. Thoughts on this for the Saints?
Look, for me, Joe, they got to have a tackle here. Like, there's no other choice. Ryan Ramczyk has bad knees. Trevor Penning was a miss. And James Hurst just retired. So you have a backup that just retired, a guy that you were going to need to rely on. They couldn't go issue it in free agency because they had so many other needs. So now they had to go with another offensive lineman. So look, they got rid of Andrews Pete, who made multiple Pro Bowls and I thought was solid, but they didn't like. Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan. I mean, they've invested in the offensive line, and it hasn't paid dividends for them all the time. Let's hope that this kid can. Hopefully he does.
I'm surprised he ended up going this late amongst the tackle group. I really thought that his pre-draft process was good enough that he would have rose throughout this. Ryan, what do you think about the Fuaga pick?
Well, I mean, Blake hit on the most important part was that the Saints needed to draft an offensive tackle. It was the worst kept secret in L. Just about was that, and he mentioned it. Trevor Penning has not been a good player and has obviously been injured as well. And then you have Ryan Ramczyk, who some people thought he maybe would never play again this offseason.
Yeah,
I mean, like
retire.
Yeah. So it was a big necessity. They needed a player. And I mean, it was a conversation between him and Amarius Mims, right? Like those were the two guys left that would have made sense at this pick. Offensive tackle, obviously, you're now on offensive tackle 4 was where Fuaga ended up being selected. They needed a guy. And I am happy though, because Joe, I know that this conversation bugged the hell out of me during this draft process. Okay. The people that are like that all along were Fuanga's a guard. Well, certainly not a guard now. That's for sure.
Well, here's the question that I would ask all of you: can he play left tackle?
No, I wouldn't put him in left. He's too much of a mauler and like head in your chest kind of a blocker that he could if he needed to if there were some problems. But I'd rather he play right tackle.
Okay, then that tells you everything that you need to know about Ryan Ramczyk. They keep saying he's okay. They keep saying he's okay. The bullshit, he's okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
look at Dennis Allen walking around like a thought.
How are they? Oh, Dennis Allen stinks. How are they going to?
I mean, dude, he's such a thought.
Blake, how are they going to get Fuaga enough runway for him to actually make those the flashy blocks that we see that he can make? Where when he gathers up his speed, he's Trent Williams in the open space going after a linebacker. I mean, he attacks them. It's not I'm attacking you.
The only thing, Sean, I would say, they moved to and you know this, and it's not going to make sense, but you know what I'm talking about. For an offensive lineman, when your O-line coach walks in there and says, we're going West Coast, you know that you're going wide zone, right? Like your job is more to get wide than it is to get vertical on your first 3 to 4 steps. They went and got Kubiak. There are going to be a lot of zone principles, boots off of the zone. So I do think that they give him runway because you know this. If you're a right tackle and you have a 6 technique that's outside and you're having to go left, well, you're not going to block the end anyway, right? Like you're going to let the end come down, chip, whatever, make the read off of it.
You're chasing the rightmost backer closest to you.
Rightmost backer, right? So I think that might be why you look at someone like him who has more athleticism to get to the second level versus if this was Sean Payton and you're asking him to pull on all those tosses, all the screens that he used to run. I think it's a better fit for the system that they had. Sean would have never made this pick because Sean would have made more of the Ryan Ramczyk, more athletic than a mauler. He wanted athlete over mauler.
So I think his feet. I think he's getting pigeonholed a little bit with mauler just because of how dominant he is. His feet are he's light on his feet, and his build makes him light on his feet. He doesn't have monster calves. He doesn't have the biggest thighs in the room, but he's light enough on his feet where I think he can get the job done at right tackle, but he's so exceptional in the run game that that's just where he flashes. I think we get caught up in how good he is there and that kind of just creates a natural detraction from the pass setting.
We have our first defensive selection, by the way.
That's surprising that the Colts are the ones to do it. I think that because we're talking about Mauler, it kind of misperceives it, though, as Sean, you just kind of talked about.
It's not Phil Lodeholt. He was a Mauler.
Fuaga's biggest improvement this year and why I thought he was going to go higher was that he showed more of an ability to move to the second level and be mobile and be fluid. And I think he's got some of the best feet for his size. Like, I think for the way that he plays combined with the feet, I will go as far as to say if there is one tackle in this class that I feel the most confident in outside of Alt to turn into a consistent Pro Bowler, it's Fuaga. That's why I love this pick so much.
Well, I think they just need to get Carr some time also. I mean, because he gets deer in the headlights real quick. And that's just how he's always been. He'll get deer in the headlights and make a clutch play every other moon. But for the most part, deer in the headlights, you're seeing a Derek Carr incompletion at a wide receiver's feet 5 yards away. So get him a little bit of, give him another half second. Maybe he can make some more plays.
Sean, speaking of Phil Loadhole, did you know he's the offensive line coach for Colorado with Deion now?
Is he really?
Is he?
That
Yes, he
rules.
is. Yes, he
I
is.
love big
Yes, he is.
Phil rules. You know what? That's not a bad thing. If you're getting all these transfer offensive linemen coming in, getting an NFL guy in front of them was just vital. I remember the offensive line coaches at Rhode Island, they both had enough of a resume where we're like, oh, you played up against some dudes, some real dudes. We'll learn from you. Because those offensive line rooms, you got to really believe that the guy that's telling you what he's telling you isn't just full of shit. You just can't do it because you're already doing you're already playing a selfless position. You're already going out of your way to bust your ass, never touch a ball, never get any shine. So at least the guy telling you what to do can either be respected vet or at least not that much of an asshole. Phil Loadholt, at least he at least is walking in that door with a little bit of built-in respect.
No doubt.
Blake, who's the Colts pick?
The dude from UCLA, Latu.
Really?
Oh, speaking of bad Joe takes, talk about this one, Joe.
All right. Okay,
There you
one
go.
second. Let me write down the timestamp. Leatu Latu is the Colts pick. I'm actually surprised by this. We talked about this, and this isn't just my take, Ryan. Okay, we've talked about this, that the medicals for Latu could have impacted him coming in, and apparently for the Colts, it didn't scare them away. I would have maybe thought that the better fit for them defensively would have been Jared Verse. I will say, though, the way that there's been a bit of a reshuffling with this defense and trying to figure out the new identity, I like that they're going after somebody who's a little bit more ready to contribute. And as we saw with the Colts, they were able to almost get to the playoffs with Gardner Minshew. Now it's time to cook with Anthony Richardson. The only apprehension that I have is I wish that they were a team that traded up to take one of the receivers, or they traded up to take Brock Bowers, or traded up to take the Colts, or to take an offensive tackle. I feel like I would have loved to have seen them been more aggressive offensively because their offense isn't totally there for them to take that next step just yet.
But it's a historically deep wide receiver group this year. Okay. And
Fair.
we're sitting here. There's only been 3 wide receivers taken so far in the first 15 picks. So that run hasn't started quite as early. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. is still out there, right? I'm not saying they're going to get him. I mean, he's going to be a first round pick. But what I'm saying is that the run hasn't technically started yet because
Worthy's still there.
Texas receivers are still there. Ladd McConkey's still there. There's a lot of great wide receivers still there. So they can still get there in the second round.
You love saying that.
I heard the joke. I heard it. I wanted to see if Joe would pay attention.
You know what? I'm actually pissed that the first bout of the joke cut out, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe Blake just made it. I'm actually pissed I heard the second one. No. Like, oh, he just repeated it just for me.
Oh, why does Latu have sunglasses on though? That's what I want to know.
I will say this though, man. Look, I mean, you could look at it right now. Some of the stuff that he's doing on run plays are pretty impressive for a dude his size, though, man.
Yeah. Are you talking about Fuaga or are you talking about Latu?
No, I'm talking about Latu.
Okay.
Like what I'm watching is him going back into coverage and that interception. I mean, Joe, here's the question I would pose, or just to anybody, I'd pose to anybody. CJ Stroud is in that division. You got to get after him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, you can't ignore. Yeah, you can't ignore it. You got to go get him. But the pass on Jared Verse, though, man.
You know the comp that I heard, and this will kind of touch base back to the Saints thing, right? Because of the ties here. But someone put out a comp, Joe. I forget who this was. Was this Daniel Jeremiah that comped him to Trey Hendrickson? And I see it so much there with Latu and Hendrickson. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like not super bendy, but like super, super good hands. And there's just like this really apparent, he knows what the next move is. I really like that comparison. Who tweeted that out? Who put that out there?
I think it was Daniel Jeremiah was one that put that one out. I think
I really like that one. That's a strong one.
It just makes so much sense because like Hendrickson was another guy, and I think he was a Florida Atlantic guy, if I remember correct. I can't remember where Hendrickson went. He went somewhere like that though, so a little bit of a off the cuff type of one. But
crowd chop is good. That's a Hendrickson cross chop. I love that.
Well, the thing about Hendrickson, though, is like Hendrickson is not physically imposing. He's not incredibly twitched up, but he just wins reps, man. And that's what Latu does. He just wins reps. He wins reps. I prefer Verse over Latu, and I've been on that for the entire draft process so far. But I get the Latu thing. He is incredibly smart, very good technically. I get it.
I think he has to be doesn't really fit his head.
Some defensive ends just have a incredible reactionary setup and then adjustment depending on what the offensive tackle does. Latu and some of those Senior Bowl, it might have been Senior Bowl 1-on-1s. It looked effortless to just get a win. And Blake, I'm sure you face this. There's just a guy on the defense when you're in 1-on-1s. You're just like, oh, he might come up and just dog me.
Oh, dude.
And you're just like, oh, why are you setting me up like this?
We played Fletcher Cox when he was at Mississippi State, and I was a freshman. Yeah. My chest still hurts. Yeah, dude, I swear to God, he literally broke my ever-living spirit.
Were you thinking Fletcher Cox?
No,
I'm league bound if I have a good game.
Sean, swear to God, we ran a screen pass, a tunnel screen. Okay, and I cracked back on him in 2008. Okay, and I'm like, what now? And I'm like, he's on the ground, like, what now, bitch? Go back, and he's like, that shit ain't gonna happen again, motherfucker. Okay, and dude, for the next like 2.5 quarters, I have a scar on my knee to prove, like, literally, just the ACL that he literally ripped out of my body and said, I'm gonna eat this for supper. The most physically opposing human being on the face of the planet. Dude, really and truthfully, that was the day that I knew that I had no shot.
You think you would have been a tyrant in the 1400s? That kind of dominance?
Oh,
dude, totally.
I literally felt when somebody asked me what it felt like getting hit by him in the chest, my comp was, remember when the Russian in Rocky IV was punching the bag and it was like how many, like the numbers would pop up and it was like this.
Yeah.
I was like, go that and do it by affinity, and that's how hard he hits.
And you try to explain this to people, you're like, someone's league bound by how they hit you in your chest. I remember,
dude, I literally, dude, there's a reason that my titties go outwards now. They don't go inwards because, he flattened my chest. Okay, there's a reason why my titties go outwards and not inwards. Okay, people are like, oh, you don't have man boobs. I'm like, yeah, Fletcher Cox literally ripped my tits out of my chest.
He actually rearranged all the muscle and all the extra meat into this perfect little shape that just reminds me Fletcher Cox beat my ass. I think Jameer Johnson, he punched me in my chest. I said that felt like a car piston. And you were on the same team doing drills. And I said, what are you doing here if you're hitting me like that?
Yeah, he hit me with a dip and rip, and I never thought that an interior defensive tackle could hit a dip and rip.
Yeah,
I think the thing, in all seriousness, I think the thing about me for him though was his feet were more elite than his hands ever were, right? Like, so if when you're going zone block and I'm trying to get up, he would be in this gap when I'm like, okay, he's going to stay here in the A gap. Yeah. And when I would go up, the next thing I know, he had already crossed my face again. It was like da-na-na-na-na-na, and I'm like, calm down, Mario.
How are you still here?
Yeah, why are you still here? Best player I've ever in my life faced, ever. It's not remotely close.
Man.
Oh, shit. Byron Murphy off the clock to Seattle.
Really?
Yeah. Seattle.
I hate that pick. Murphy. Ryan, what were you about to say?
Well, first and foremost, Byron Murphy is kind of the Seahawks type, though. I don't like it either, but just kind of is. I just saw a thing, though, apparently on NFL Network when JJ got picked, they popped up an NFL comparison thing between him and CJ Stroud, and I am laughing.
Stop.
That's rough.
God. That's horrible.
There's a graphic on Twitter about it.
I'll say this. I wasn't high about Stroud when he was coming out either. I thought he was going to be Flop City, another one of the Ohio State quarterbacks. So I'll be one of the draft guys that at least walks it back and owns it. Man, dude, I'm not walking it back for McCarthy, though.
Dude, that game he had against Georgia, though, Jesus.
It was a great game.
Dallas Turner looks pissed.
He should look pissed.
So against Will Campbell.
To react,
in all honesty, he got clapped by him. But can go on with Byron Murphy.
Yeah. To react to Byron Murphy, there was a lot of buzz for him to end up being the first defensive tackle selected. I'm surprised that Byron Murphy goes before at least one other edge rusher. And also the craziest part about this, we've got a defensive tackle going before any of the corners in this class, which I think is the craziest part. But as you said a second ago, Ryan, this is a fit for Seattle. This is the type of guy that they're going to look for in the interior. I mean, Michael Bennett's actually not a horrible comparison for just like build. No, you don't like that, Ryan? You're shaking your head at that.
I was thinking like slightly shorter. Jerron Reed was kind of the name that popped in my head. Like, I don't know.
Is he that
Michael
big?
Bennett was like,
is that wide?
Yeah. Murphy's like 300 pounds, isn't he?
Yeah.
Michael Bennett's what, like 275, 280?
He was playing
like
in the 270s, 280s.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know, man.
Down for a sec.
What would you say?
Can you bring me down for a sec?
Yes. Yeah. I got
some producer, dude. Holy shit.
Shut up.
Sean would have saw that private message. He would just be like, "Yep, I got you, bro."
I didn't see it. Well, Sean has the ability to make changes, so could have been paying attention there.
Sean's drinking Remy Martin. All right, so let's not ask Sean to do any producing on this stream.
You're celebrating like it's the 4th of July.
What else am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Find Christ. Byron Murphy, though. I don't hate the pick. This is a pick that I think that they could have had in the second round. I still can't completely get behind why he's suddenly worthy of going as early as he did in the first round in the teen picks. I don't think that he's strong enough to anchor against the run. I think he's disruptive, but I much rather would have taken Jerjon Newton.
Joe,
or an edge rusher.
You know my stance on this. I mean, these first round defensive tackle selections have been the bane of my existence my entire life. They just have been. The production is matched with other run eaters. And then again, you're basically playing the lottery. Who's got the best hands? I think Newton it definitely does. If we're talking about pass rushing reps, Newton, I think, has a better skill set to transfer into the NFL. Drafting big freaky athlete to stick him in between a center and a guard doesn't make sense to me. When the production can be matched with someone that you draft in the 4th round with the same frame and the same amount of bench reps. If there's a true freak, there's a true freak, but people have been trying to find it forever.
I'm ready for it, though, Joe. Los Angeles Rams at 19, baby. Calling it right now. Jared Verse. Give him to me. Give him to me,
You think that's going to be the... I keep seeing...
I'm glad.
I keep seeing...
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Do you know who the Rams pick is?
No. The Vikings are moving up to 17.
Trying to think who they'd be moving. A tackle? No, all the tackles are gone. All the tackles are gone.
They also have Darisaw and O'Neal, so they don't need a tackle.
So maybe they're going after Quinyon. I still have a bet. I still have a bet out right now for Nate Wiggins as the top corner to get picked. So that's in play, I would think.
Quinyon makes me nervous.
Rusher?
Could be a pass rusher. They did just get rid of Danielle Hunter.
Huh.
Any of these hit?
Wait, only 2 trades so far, and they're both by Minnesota, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have been more right in my prediction.
You're not right yet. There's still time.
Does Minnesota take Turner then?
I don't know.
Yeah, my bets are doing terrible right now.
Pass rusher or corner is my bet on Minnesota, but I'm not sure.
I feel like Minnesota has to, if they're trading back up and they're moving up to 17 and they swapped with the Jaguars, who are also considered to be a team that would look for a corner, I would feel like that they're going after the first corner on the board. Especially because one hasn't been picked yet.
Well, yeah, but Jacksonville wouldn't trade for them. It's not like they're jumping Jacksonville, right? You know what I'm saying there? Like,
oh my God, Byron's fit that he's wearing. Oh my God.
Fit. That one's rough.
Was it nice? Was it nice or no?
Kind of. He's got like the designer.
It's a too tight Gucci shirt with close to too tight fitting pants.
Yeah, those are 2014 jeans that he's wearing. He's wearing the tightest jeans that have the biggest holes and rips in them. That has been out of style for like 3-4 years now.
Joe, I'll be back in about a minute.
All right, I'll remove you.
He's gonna chug his wine or whatever he was drinking.
He was drinking Remy Martin.
Oh, Remy Martin? Was that who he was drinking? What a classy broad. That Sean Anderson's a classy
Calling
broad.
Him a classy broad. Sure, he's loved it that you're saying that.
Oh,
do you want me to re-add you, Blake, or do you want me to keep you off the screen? Oh, you're eating something. I'll bring you back in. I'll bring you back in. You look shy. The other day we were doing our show, and I got pinged for something for work, and oh wait, here the picks in
for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Let's see. This can be interesting.
Dallas Turner.
Is Dallas Turner?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's get quick thoughts on this. So the Vikings trade up to take Dallas Turner from 23 to 17. I don't like it because I would have much rather have gone with Jared Verse in this location, but you're still getting a very high ceiling pass rusher, a guy that has all of the requisite traits if you give him some time to develop to become an elite player. He is the replacement for Danielle Hunter, and maybe you could make some comparisons in just general development and ceiling of when the two of them came into the NFL.
Right.
It's just interesting that they traded up to take him. I feel like they didn't have to do that because they could have just waited to see who was still available of Jared Verse and Dallas Turner.
I mean, they must have just simply valued Turner over Verse. I mean, obviously they're very different players. I'm curious. Obviously, Kevin O'Connell's the head coach and offensive identity, but do you know who the defensive coordinator is for the Minnesota Vikings? I'm genuinely curious. Brian Flores. So 3-4 base, right? So they're going to be stand-up rushers then, right? If I have that correct.
Yeah.
So kind of fits their style then more a little bit, but man, I did not have JJ McCarthy and Dallas Turner on my bingo card for the Minnesota Vikings tonight, man. Did not have him.
Well, JJ makes sense, but yeah, Dallas Turner is not someone that I would have expected ended up becoming a Minnesota Viking.
Well,
that's what you're saying.
That's the point, though, is that I had a quarterback first round, right? Quarterback in the first round on my bingo card for Minnesota, but I did not have them also getting who some perceive to be a top 10 pick potentially in Dallas Turner on top of the quarterback. Like that's kind of where the intrigue comes from, I suppose.
Turner looked pissed walking down that tunnel, like that he fell this far. He had an angry walk up to the podium.
I don't know what he was expecting.
I think Blake's talking to us, but he's on mute.
Oh,
I was just gonna see how long he realized, but
damn.
What were you saying?
I had the best take of my life. It just got messed up.
What was the take?
I don't remember.
Wait, what did Dallas Turner just say?
What do you mean? What did he say?
He just said something, and he said something. To be honest, like.
Dude, he's probably just pissed, like Sean said, for being the 17th pick or whatever.
I don't know what he was expecting. He could have gone.
Well,
I think he was expecting top 10.
Amarius Mims is going 18.
To the Bengals. Oh, that's a great pick, man. That's a great.
Protect the franchise, baby.
That's
Protect
huge.
right here. Protect Joey B.
Great pick. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that has to be my favorite. Amarius Mims. Wait, so that's for sure.
Yeah,
that one.
That's a great pick.
That's what I was trying to say a minute ago, and Sean was like, "Oh, look, what the hell do you have on?
What are you talking about? I just used the restroom.
Is that a USC hat? Take the USC hat off,
dickhead.
Please, for the love of God.
Freaking.
Well, I can't wear my own hat.
Cause problems over here.
By the way, on Dallas Turner, Ryan, I told Joe this on Monday. A buddy of mine that was in my wedding has been in the NFL for well over a decade. I'm not an NFL guy. I don't want to be. It's just not my dude. Whatever. He told me on Monday, and like I'm reading the text as he had texted to me, said Dallas Turner is going to fall because of his personality. And I think that his personality off of the field translated to this slippage.
Okay.
So
you telling us that is why I'm pointing out his demeanor, because you're talking about how NFL teams were rubbed the wrong way by him, and then now he's all pissy.
Well, so it's not even that.
Fell.
Well, it's not even that though. Look at the on the field play. He had 2 personal fouls against Quinn Ewers, then wound up knocking him out of the game. He does the same thing to Jayden Daniels, but everybody's like, is it targeting? Is it not targeting? Which I thought it was targeting, but I don't know anymore. So, I mean, that's multiple times. He punched 2 dudes in a game. Like, I mean, you can't start throwing hands in a game. Now, Sean might. I mean, looked like he got Big Show type hands. Your hands look like the Big Show's.
Sean used to get in a lot of fights in practice.
You know what?
I think he got in the most fights out of any of the offensive linemen.
Well,
yeah.
Look, there was one particularly fighty spring, but it's just, you just move past it. Joe got in some fights, though. Joe got in more fights than any other specialist.
Okay, that's because no other specialist was getting into fights.
No. Sean, you don't.
And because he knew he had your big ass to protect him.
That's actually kind of true. I'm the type of guy.
He'll run his mouth at a party and start looking for me.
Oh, yeah. Good. Oh, I'm the type of guy that'll go to a bar or a party and I'll get into it with somebody and I'll be grabbing Sean.
What do y'all think about this Mims pick to Cincy?
I mean, I tweeted it out. This is my favorite pick, the first round. I absolutely love it. Mims has been one of my favorite prospects. If he played the whole season, I think he would have gone higher. He needs to stay healthier. Him getting hurt at the combine's a little bit concerning. But his ceiling's through the roof. His ceiling's higher than Joe Alt's. He might be an all-pro in a couple of years if he stays healthy and he's on the field.
Yeah, I mean, he could be a superstar. He's got tremendous upside.
It's just
do you remember, Joe, when he went down in the SEC championship game and then Alabama just legitimately attacked that right tackle spot?
Yeah.
I mean, it was very visible when he left. Very visible. So
who did they put at right tackle? Truss?
They put Truss at right. They put Truss at right tackle.
Rhode Island legend Xavier Truss. Sean, what were you saying?
Too bad he stinks.
I'm just glad they're protecting Joe Burrow, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think all of Joe Burrow's injuries are Joe Burrow reckless or Joe Burrow injury prone, but the status is what the status is.
That's right.
The only way to move forward is to try to protect them some more. Try to limit what you can, and by drafting first-round offensive linemen who, for the most part, can do a pretty good job of protecting a quarterback. It's a safety pick, but it's also the right pick. It's really good when a team can nail both of those in the same one and not having to burn 2 players on 2 different picks. So killing 2 birds with 1 stone, I appreciate it. And I think Mims is pretty talented on the edge also.
I'm just happy this draft is back on track, man, because it was drunk for a little while. I was drinking a little too much Remy Martin, but we're back on the tracks now. Here we go.
Hey,
it's never too much of that.
Listen to this. Pete Thamel reporting. The Atlanta Falcons gave Kirk Cousins no heads up on the pick until the Falcons were on the clock with about a couple minutes left. I'm assuming is what he's trying to say.
He's got to be pissed.
He just signed a 4-year, so it was a 4-year, Ryan, 180-year deal, the first 2 of which are fully guaranteed.
It was a terrible pick.
I feel like he got opposite draft day movied.
Yeah, you're right.
To get his money, Kirk's gonna be fine. If he wanted to really play and be the lone starter, he would have gone somewhere else.
Is there any quarterback in the history of
Wait, Sean. The Falcons were the only team that was the best situation for him to do exactly what you're talking about. For him to go somewhere,
drafted 8 in 3 straight drafts. He had options.
I don't know if there were many other teams that
somebody said that the Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix is like what happened in what's the movie with Jamie Foxx?
Oh, Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday, and you had the old white quarterback, and then you had the Leon.
That's actually.
I hope
hilarious.
we get a Green Bay situation. I hope we get 2 years of Kirk, and then he's gone, and then we got Jordan Love stepping up. Except he's Michael Penix and not Jordan Love.
Okay, but here's the only thing, though. You have to pray that Kirk Cousins at the end of those 2 years is playing good enough that you can trade him to a team that is willing to take on the enormous contract that you just signed him to.
Joseph,
right?
in 2 years, that contract's going to look like chump change. The way that these quarterback contracts are going in the NFL.
It's still a cap hit, and a lot of these contracts are backloaded.
Yeah, but the cat. No, it's not. His is front loaded though. That's
it's
the problem.
Front loaded. Never mind.
It's front loaded. Yeah. So.
Oh, dude, Amarius Mims' dad is probably going to be the best dad of the draft. Look at him.
We have an obsession with football dads. Oh my God, his dad's bigger than him.
Show me the dad. Where's the dad? NFL
bloodline, man.
Show me the dad.
I think it's my favorite bit. 4 years ago, Sean and I did a stream where it was just the two of us, and we spent a good hour reacting just to the dads. Mekhi Becton's dad was an all-timer. Cesar Ruiz's dad was a great one.
DeAndre Swift's dad was a phenomenal football dad. Biggest arms I've ever seen on a human.
Yep.
Oh man,
65. That's a good number,
dude. His tape is ridiculous. If you're watching his highlights, dude, his first step to be 6'8", 340 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ryan, tell me to shut up on this one. If Amarius Mims' comp, Tyron Smith.
Shut up, Joe.
Shut up, Joe.
Come on, wait. No. Wait. Come on.
They don't have similar body types. They're not.
Yes, they do.
The play style is different. One plays right
tackle.
I tried.
Awful, man. Absolutely.
Bro, the front office talking to the dad, bro. Look at him.
It's like, hey, you got any reps left in you?
Yeah. Can you play guard?
Oh, his whole family's big. Holy shit.
That's a football dad.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
it's.
Oh, dude, he's a future Hall of Famer. He's a future Hall of Famer, bro.
Big dads, I'm always in for it. That would, if I was a GM, I would just call in the dad, or if I was a player personnel guy in college, I'd just call in the dad. I need to see how the handshake is, how deep his voice is, and how tall he is. That's all.
Could you imagine getting in trouble and your dad's that big? Like, what you gonna do? Bow up to your dad who's 6'9", 380?
You know how at radio stations they pull the audio for the board, right? I would love a audio pull of Joe going, "I'm in on the dads" in a random situation during a podcast.
Sean, can you do that? Sean's good at pulling sound bites.
I can pull it.
Two hours and 19-minute timestamp.
The Rams might have the best tweet of the night. Their first round pick, they put the thing from the Titanic. It says, "It's been 84 years."
Man, it's been a minute.
It's been a long time.
Who do they go with here? Who do y'all think?
Chop Robinson.
Dude, I would honestly walk out of this stream if they took Chop Robinson. I'm a Rams fan, by the way, and I would hate my life for every second of it.
Who do you want him to take?
I would be good with best corner available or Jared Verse or Troy Fatanu. I would be okay with Troy Fatanu as well, but
Verse would be fun.
I would like
Verse would be great.
Verse
that just fills an immediate gap because you're never going to
expecting them to go Byron. Were you expecting them to go Byron Murphy because Donald left?
I thought, and there was just when they were talking about the Rams potentially trading up to the top 10, and then there was the recent buzz of Murphy potentially going to the top 10. I was like, oh no, that's not the parallel there, is it? Like, I hope that's not the parallel. I would be okay with them taking Jerzon Newton here as well, even though there's a little bit of question about his coachability.
Yeah, I've heard
recently.
I think McVay gets the most of his players.
What about Brian Thomas Jr.? I've seen that one circulated a lot.
Oh, I found it. I know who it is.
Who is it?
It's Jared Verse, baby.
There we go.
Damn. Love that. Love
great
that.
play.
He might be the best edge guy in this draft, in my opinion. I don't know how y'all feel.
I think
talented.
There's potential for that to happen because Latu, his health is a little uncertain. So, like, he could not pan out just because of that and not because he's not good enough. Dallas Turner, we already talked about all the concerns and issues with him being good enough to even develop his character, all that stuff could really kill him. Verse could just end up working out because he's the perfect mix of floor and ceiling. So I love that. It sounds like Ryan's pretty excited that they got Verse.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I mean, Joe, I had him as a top 10 player in this class. So the value at 19 just overall. And then Sean, I think you said this briefly a minute ago, but you were never going to replace Aaron Donald. So don't even try, right? Like 1-for-1, you're not going to replace Aaron Donald, but you know where you can get better? On the edge, opposite of Byron Young, out of Tennessee from last year. So I think that this supplements a little bit of the sack production, a little bit of the tackle for loss production. You're going to take a step back at defensive tackle no matter what. If you would have taken Jerzon Newton, that would have been a step back from Aaron Donald, obviously. But you upgraded a spot, which I think is most important in this conversation.
He's just so strong, and he doesn't have like a strong edge build, but he's constantly pushing tackles back, making quarterbacks uncomfortable. It's really impressive.
And the first, Joe, I'll throw this bone to you and Sean as well, because I know you guys obviously talk a lot of FCS football. First FCS player drafted tonight, man. Albany greats.
CAA legend,
Jared Verse. Followed by CAA legend going to FSU also, Dylan Brown. Oh, that was a joke for Joe only. Yeah,
I don't know who Dylan Brown is.
He was a defensive tackle on our team that was like really highly recruited. Didn't really play that much.
Yeah.
And then he transferred as a walk-on to Florida State, and he was a walk-on. But I found out from Montana he was getting some pretty walk-ons at some of these schools get some huge coin. Like he was getting like, I forget what the number was, but his apartment was getting paid for. Everything was getting paid for. It was basically like he was on scholarship. There is no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's really no difference these days in the amount of money that's being spent between, like if you're a walk-on on a big G5, P4 team rather, you're not a walk-on. You're a scholarship player, and then the scholarship players have a salary.
Joe, you remember
the NIL bankroll, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Joe, you remember when we were in Indianapolis, we were talking to the one agent. I'm not going to say his name on there, but do you remember when he basically moves players with the NIL side of stuff? And some of the numbers that we were hearing on guys that are just like second, third stringers is wild, man. Like absolutely wild these days.
Yeah, we were hearing some nutty numbers from that one guy that we were talking to. Wait, it almost makes you wonder if there was truth to it. The way that he was just kind of casually. I mean, he was also drunk.
But there must be. There must be. Oh, no, he wasn't drunk. He was good. He was fine.
What do you mean he wasn't drunk? You and I both. No.
Dude, he was a 240-pound former college linebacker that was all muscle. He can't get drunk. You have no idea.
He told us that J.J. McCarthy was the best quarterback in the class. You tell me that man was.
I mean, Joe, we know
Indiana Knights that they talk about.
We know how evaluations work, Joe. We don't know if he is or isn't yet. We got to wait a few years for that, sir. Then we'll revisit. Okay,
true.
He might be right.
I feel like Jared Verse used to like disappear in games for like 2.5 quarters, and then all of a sudden you look up and he's got like 2.5 sacks.
Just emerged, changed the game.
Ooh,
I don't know what that is. He's faster.
Cam never played on that backside that he never goes up against left tackles. He's more of a strong side DM, but they're comparing him to him on ESPN.
I don't think I really have a great comp for Verse. He's a pretty unique player. Pretty unique.
I'm trying to think who just beasted in the league with a bull rush like that. I don't know. I mean, that bull rush is going to be his first sack has to come off with a bull rush or a bull to a rip.
I've never seen a guy right now. I've never seen a guy get so many sacks in college off of just pulling a offensive tackle into his quarterback's lap and knocking him down with the offensive tackle. Like it just doesn't happen that often, but he does it a lot.
Gosh, at least in the ACC.
Yeah.
And they were getting burned against SEC teams also. He's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, look, Will Campbell, I think, is going to be high in next year's draft, too. I mean, I'm not going to hold Menzies, even though he's an LSU guy. I mean, he got bullied at times. I mean, now he's a true freshman. I mean, but I don't know how much you put it on to him, but I mean, he still got bullied.
That was probably the only game that Will Campbell like really struggled. That's probably the only game.
It's the last game that he gave up a sack.
I mean, that was
not a bad guy to give a sack up to, though.
Right. No, and he ain't given up a sack in 2 years. That was the last and only sack he's given up. But in fairness, he had a quarterback that could probably run a 4.3 too. So I don't,
Right.
I don't know if
I'd be fired up if I was Ryan, because LA's edge rushers always perform better than you think they will. Like Dante Fowler Jr. had his best years in LA. So did Leonard Floyd, best years in LA coming off the edge. And these guys get contracts after they leave LA because they perform so well there.
Yeah,
probably because of Aaron Donald taking up 3 dudes.
I was gonna say I think that's the Aaron Donald effect. We'll see if that continues, but I mean you're not wrong. People
they have to be doing something right though.
Career years, yeah, it's a good coaching staff, so I'm sure they'll be fine.
Steelers go get Russ a wide receiver here. I mean,
it would make sense. It would make sense.
Brian
Thomas Jr.
Yeah, but him and Pickens are a lot alike. Would you have two?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Watch the tight end shout.
I heard, and this is again, I don't know if this is going to come to fruition, but I had heard though that Pittsburgh was pretty infatuated with Brian Thomas Jr. So
really,
yeah,
well,
he's one of the names associated with them. I think the other spot that I wouldn't be shocked about is a center. So maybe a Graham Barton comes off the board here, that type of guy.
So you had brought this up on our. Oh no, you quote tweeted me when I tweeted out like, "Oh, who does everyone think is going to slide?" Yep. You think that Jackson Powers Johnson might not go as early as everyone thinks?
He might drop to the second round, I've been told, just because he has some medical stuff in the past, some durability stuff. So he might be a guy that slides to the second. So yeah, I think there's a possibility he might be the third center drafted in this class, and that's kind of wild to think about.
That he is on the perfect trajectory to be like the Creed Humphrey of this class if that happens. You know, where we're like something that we're not really exposed to, knowing what really the medical was and the situation was and why he might have slid. And we're all kind of shaking our, scratching our head thinking like, what caused the slide? And he ends up going in the third round, or like you're talking about here. And he'll just go on to be a really good pro because we know that he is steady. He's got such a high floor. He's just such a great, well-rounded prospect. That would suck for him if he fell that far, though. I would be it's kind of lame if
What's
that's who they end up picking.
Tackle's name?
Fotano. Is that who's getting picked next?
Mm-hmm.
By the Steelers?
By the Steelers, yeah.
That's a good pick.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick, yeah. I like it.
Ryan, do you have Frazier over Powers Johnson?
I do. I love Zach Frazier from West Virginia, man. Big Zach Frazier fan. Guy. Yeah.
Did you talk to him recently?
He was on the show.
Yeah, he came on the podcast. Normal dude? Yeah, really nice kid. So in those pre-draft interviews, I always try to ask them like, where they've been, what teams are visiting, all that type of stuff. He was a great guy. But I said, where the travel's been to, top 30 visits, that type of thing. And you could tell he had probably talked to his agent about not telling anyone that information. He's like, travel's been pretty good. Nothing crazy. And I'm like, okay, got it.
Lame.
You can't expect no lineman to stir the pot like that. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, usually it's the opposite, though. The offensive linemen kind of just are usually, I think, the more common to let it slip because they don't.
It's a lot of O linemen, though, dude.
Oh,
a lot of O linemen. I mean, that's got to be what, 5 or 6.
Gotta be 6.
Yeah, 6.
Right?
Was offense down last year in the NFL? I know there are a lot of tragic games, but if it was down, that would explain it.
Offense.
This class is just really offensive heavy. Like it's super offensive heavy. So
I like seeing Hayward take the stage.
You know what's funny? Have you ever seen his little brother?
He's got a big ass.
I have.
I bet he does.
So, Joe, have you ever seen Connor Hayward that played? He played fullback type of thing at Michigan State.
Yes,
and he's on there. I think he's a Steeler too. It's hilarious because they look exactly the same in the face, except Connor Hayward is like 5'10", 230. It's just so funny to look at.
It's hilarious the discrepancy in size amongst.
Dude,
he's a lot younger too, which is funny.
If I was Hayward, I would never go on this stage. After all that bullshit that they were trying to pull with his eye tape that he couldn't put Ironhead hiring his dad. Like I would not go on this stage with Goodell representing the NFL after seeing
Wait, what happened? Wait, what happened?
They wouldn't allow him to customize his eye black that said Ironhead in reference to his father who had passed away. And they didn't let him
What a joke.
do that. Yeah, it's a fucking joke. I would never go on this stage if they try to do something like that to me. You're a premier player, you're a man of the year candidate, and maybe award winner, and they're still hitting you with that. Give me a break.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Hey, was there ever a better period in college football when players could like write stuff on their eye black and like Reggie Bush had 619 on it? And remember, like, well, Joe and
wait, did they outlaw that?
They outlawed it. Remember, it was the Tebow rule because
he had Bible verses.
He had Bible verses on it, and every time that he had a Bible verse on his thing, it was the most Googled Bible verse of like the month or the week or whatever it was, because like everybody was good, because it was never like John 3:16. It was always like Genesis 2 verse, or chapter 27. I'm
what's he talking about this week? Yeah, what's he got going on?
What's Tim trying to tell me this week?
That's great.
One of them I remember was "Don't sit on your laurels."
These soccer fans try to tell me that it's the world's biggest sport. Give me a break. You don't understand the influence. You guys share each other's haircuts. We're converting religions over here with football.
Fotanu, though, I just tweeted out his highlights. Man, he is so fluid. He is such an easy mover. I had so much fun watching his tape, and I think that I give credit to Ryan, by the way. Ryan put me on to him. Ryan found him very early.
Daddy told you about him early. Yes, he did.
Daddy. Oh, Daddy. God damn. God damn.
But I love Fotanu. Fun fact, I posted Fotanu's little clip reel, the ones that I was posting for these prospects. And one of the assistant film guy for the Washington football team DM'd me and was like, "Where are you getting all this film?"
Who, Ryan Fowler?
No, not the Washington Commanders.
Washington,
the University of Washington. Fuck that guy.
Washington Commanders wanted some all-22 film from you. That's pretty hilarious.
What the team is.
Excuse me, where did you get this? I did this cycle way more than any other. I had so many people asking me to share film with them.
Dude,
a lot of
where
people
do you get it from?
Oh, Blake, don't worry.
It just kind of ends up in my inbox.
You can't ask for it, or else you'll never get it from this dude. It's crazy. You should do a film breakdown. I'd love to. Give me some film. Can't do it.
Give me some.
I make the film myself. I go to games. I shoot all the footage. It's all.
You work for Catapult. You work for
Connor Stallions.
From?
Yeah, Joe Stallions.
From Connor Stallions.
Yeah.
You slick devil, you. You slick devil. You Connor Stallions. Not a name that I thought would be brought up tonight, but here we are. Dude, normally when you see a team, though, that has this many, like, dudes, like dominant dudes or people that thought that were dominant, Michigan's only had one dude taken. And I know that they didn't have a lot of high guys, but think of, like, all the national title teams. Like, normally they have multiple dudes already drafted.
But next year is going to be their high profile year because they'll have Will Johnson's going to be a first round pick. Mason Graham's probably going to be a first round pick. Like they'll have more first rounders next year. This year was about their depth more than anything.
Right,
Dolphins.
Bad pick.
Oh no,
I had a feeling they were going to miss this one.
Chop
Robinson.
Oh my god.
Oh. I have no words.
I guess it's just Miami missing on another edge rusher.
Yeah,
they got Cameron Wakewright, and they got.
Well, they didn't even get Cameron. They can't take credit for Cameron Wake. Cameron Wake went up to the CFL and balled out, and then they eventually signed him. They don't get credit for Cameron Wake.
Do they get credit for Jason Taylor?
Yes.
Okay.
College? You know what college he went to? Jason Taylor?
No clue.
Akron. Do you know
I'm Jason this game.
Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas are brother-in-laws, by the way. Did you know that one, Joe?
Wait,
You know who Zach Thomas is, right?
Well,
you know who Zach Thomas, right?
I'm familiar.
Well, Joy Taylor is Jason Taylor's sister. Joy Taylor, the Fox personality.
Sure.
Yeah. Her nephew plays at LSU.
Man, look at this.
Mason Taylor?
Wait. Zach Thomas. So Zach Thomas's wife is
Jason Taylor's.
I thought it was Jason Taylor's sister's married to Zach Thomas.
Correct. They're all the oldest sister's married to Zach Thomas.
Yep.
Huh. Doesn't he have like another relation to some? There's like another connection that Zach Thomas has to somebody. I'm blanking on what it is.
I don't know.
But how
Raiola
awesome,
or something?
How awesome would it be to be a 5'8" linebacker telling a guy who's 6'6", who looks like Xerxes off of 300, saying, "Hey, I'm boning your sister now."
It's like walking in, you see Sam Mills just sitting there. Like, hey, what's going on?
You're gonna be the most badass 5'8" dude on the planet to walk up to Xerxes.
Joe, do this right now. Google Zach Thomas combine results. I want you to Google this right now.
Wait, say it again.
Zach Thomas combine results. Please do it and read up.
Oh, he had a terrible combine.
Well, no, just read it all out. I need you to read it out. I need you
Okay.
to read height, weights, 40, everything. I need you to read this. It's
Orlando
hilarious.
Brown Jr. Terrible combine.
He's basically the Orlando Brown Jr. of linebackers.
Oh.
Are you really, really bad? really, really bad.
Okay, wait. Is this not the offensive tackle from San Diego State, right?
No.
Come
The
on.
linebacker from
No,
Texas Tech. Texas
linebacker.
Tech linebacker. Come on, man.
Did he just get inducted? I think he got
Yeah,
inducted.
He
no.
did. He just got in. Yeah, he just got in last year, I think.
Took him long enough. Like
71 inches in the height, 230.
Wait. Let's break this down.
Okay.
71 inches, which means that he is 5'11". Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
4.85, 40.
45, 40.
20 reps on the bench.
Oof.
28.5 vertical. This is a Joe DeLeone combine performance.
He was basically Joe
104 inch
DeLeone.
strut. I had a higher vert than he did.
No,
I had
Don't
a
let
higher
him
vert
tell
than he
you.
did. I had
He
a 29
combine
inch vert
the
at
same
my
as
pro
Zach
day.
Thomas. You didn't do 20
I-
reps. You didn't jump 28
Yeah, I had a
inches.
wait.
You
I had a
didn't run
torn
4.85.
I had a torn
You
pack
are
at my
not-
pro day.
The only thing
My
you have
pro
on
day
is you're
was
both
an
5'11".
atrocious event.
That's all you got.
Wait.
Don't even-
He obviously had a better 40 than me. Okay, but we were both 233 pounds. I had a higher vertical than he did, and I think I had the same broad at 104 inches around there.
It's the same vertical.
Wait, and 104
Undocumented
inches would
vertical.
mean 104 would be what? That would be 8 something, right?
Yeah, I think I was like right at 8. I think I was like right there.
The nerve.
Dude,
of
we're
you-
talking about a Hall of Fame linebacker that had a sub 9 foot broad jump, a 28.5-inch vert.
Here's the thing. He jumped up. He didn't
Yeah.
hit the ticker. It was the timer thing. So he got some knee bend, got some crazy vertical, and has been riding this number forever. He's saying he jumped higher than Aaron Parker. Aaron Parker could dunk. When we were at Rhode Island.
It is.
Joe couldn't dunk.
I can
If he
get.
jumped as high as him, you would have dunked.
Aaron Parker was 6'4". I was 5'11".
6'1".
He was
Hey,
not,
no,
he
he
was
wasn't.
6'4".
He was not 6'4". He was not 6'4".
Okay, well, guess who went undrafted that was supposed to get drafted? Aaron Parker, because his vertical was terrible.
I would say undrafted that was supposed to be drafted could be the name of this quad box that we got going on right here.
What
does
was
that
what was
mean?
what was Zach Thomas's arm length? Did you say that part? You didn't read it out correctly.
It's probably shorter than Joe's.
I have long arms.
Oh, what's your arm length, doofus? Tell me.
It's
Did
whatever
you just call him a
6'3" is.
doofus?
You know what?
See, I shouldn't have put this congregation of people together because it's the 3 people who bully me the most on a daily basis, and I just
I
put
don't
myself in
bully
the
you.
top. Yes, you do. You don't bully me. You quote tweeted me to the point to 250,000 impressions on fucking Twitter of people telling me I'm a fucking moron and they're waiting for me to eat the goddamn hat. I still have people tagging me. It was
Eat
2
the hat.
hours ago, Blake. 2 hours ago. I'm going to get it for the next week. Every time he has a touchdown, I'm going to get tagged in that post because you're going to tag probably by you. His arm length was 30 inches. I think I have longer than that.
Who do y'all think the Eagles go with here?
Who had a higher Wonderlick? That's all I need to know.
Wait, no.
Thomas by
my
a million. You seen this kid?
Was probably like a 15. No corners have come off the board.
So Eagles historically are a offensive line, defensive line draft strategy in the first round. They need a corner, but they've drafted one corner in the first round in the last 25 years. Okay, 25 years. So that's a lot of factors against them.
They need to take one. They desperately need to take a corner. Their corners, their secondary was terrible.
Joe, last corner the Eagles drafted in the first round, 2002, Lito Shepherd.
Did you know that off the top of your head?
Yes.
How did you know that off the top?
Because, dude, I know random shit.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
Here's another one. Eagles haven't drafted a linebacker since 1979, Joe. 1979.
Who was it?
Jerry Robinson.
Okay.
You know what would be the funniest thing ever? They drafted all those defensive dudes from Georgia, and they go get a white corner here.
That would be the menacing defense.
Oh my God!
Wait.
Philly would put DeJean on offense, defense, and he'd be returning the kicks.
Yeah,
Quez Watkins, nice to
what
know
was
you.
the dude that Wahlberg played?
In Invincible? Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, Vince Papale. Vince Papale.
Watch
Vince Papale.
Watch this pick be Kamari Lassiter.
I just told you they haven't drafted a corner in the first round since 2002.
Yeah, but if they're going to do something stupid, wouldn't it be or do something that is not consistent with their trend? They would follow another trend.
No, what they're going to do here, I think, is they're going to draft some like they're going to draft a defensive end that we're not expecting. That's just going to be like a head scratcher. What? You know?
Is Wiggins the pick? They're showing Wiggins on the screen. If it's him, I won my bet.
What was your bet?
No, they were showing him at his house.
Joe's arms are kind of long.
I do have long arms. I have long arms,
and
I've got weirdly long fingers.
Get your hand out of the screen.
I have long fingers.
I have been told by most people.
Has that helped you in life? Has that helped you in life in any way?
I'm not going to answer
not
that
in the
question.
ways that it should.
You lost your bet, dog. You lost your bet. It's Quinyon.
Who was it?
It's Quinyon.
Damn it. Oh, the odds were so good on that. It was a $5 bet to pay like 160. Damn it.
So Joe, I would like to recount a
Damn, you lost a lot of bets on the draft, dude.
I could not have done worse than I did today. For anyone in the, I don't know what governing body looks over sports betting. I have no sourcing to make these bets, so don't come knocking on my door if
you're going full Keishon Boutte. You know, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, placing bets with information and still not.
Just make sure you use
what do y'all think of the pit? Oh, I'm sorry, Sean.
No, it's not a real read. It seemed like a inadvertent time. But if you had someone else going to the Eagles, you could use Believe promo code BLEAV for 50% off your first deposit. Bet online. Watch Joe lose.
That should be the
new tagline. I like that tagline. It's good.
I'm sorry,
dude,
Blake.
I'm sending you a picture of Brock Bowers' dad.
Oh, let's check this guy out.
Oh, dude, he could be on the cover of Yellowstone.
No, that man looks like he's trying to contain all of his excitement that he's going to be spending most of his weekends in Las Vegas.
Joe, you're a little too obsessed with dads, man.
I know, dude.
No, man, this is Sean and I's favorite bit. This is our favorite stupid bit.
There was no football official anywhere in Brock Bowers' life that this guy didn't scream at. Holy hell, what a red face. Take a breath.
You need to tweet that.
Oh. Why is he so red?
Tweet that. You need to tweet that. Oh, God.
Well, I guess that means that James Bradbury is going to be on his way out here pretty soon, Joe, of Philadelphia.
I find it interesting. Don't you find it interesting that how different stylistically Quinyon Mitchell is to Bradbury? Or do you think they're kind of transitioning to a different play style because of that?
I mean, new defensive coordinator, right? I mean, obviously the transition away from Desai, and then they had Matt Patricia is their defense coordinator at the end of the year last year for some reason. Still don't know exactly what that one was. But Vic Fangio, I feel like is a heavy cover 2 heavy system, right? Am I wrong about that? Vic Fangio?
Oh yeah, I forgot that Fangio's coming in as
the DC. Yep. All I know this though, no matter what the scheme specifics is, James Bradbury was awful last year for the Eagles.
Yeah, he was.
How did Keely Ringo do for them?
He was okay. I think they like him as a developmental guy. They have him and Eli Ricks on the team.
Right.
So yep.
He's more comparable because not comparable to Bradbury, but to the style of corner that they previously were looking for, which was zone heavy, attack downhill, doesn't require a lot of change of direction type of a corner. So again, I find it really interesting that this is the direction that they're going in going with somebody he can play both, but he's fluid. He's a really easy mover. And I think that he's going to flourish more asking him to play as a man corner. And I think of Fangio, didn't he pick Surtain?
He did. Yep. He picked Surtain. Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense then.
Joe.
They drafted when he was there. They drafted a lot of long corners. What's his height and weight?
He's six. He's over 6 foot. He's like 6'1.5" or 6'3" and 200 pounds. Long arms, like 32 and something. Joe, I don't like to pat myself on the back too much, but I'm going to for like 10 seconds. Okay.
Dude, this dude's really fucking good, bro.
Do you remember when I was super early on Devin Witherspoon, and then last year in a RPM meeting I said next year's Devin Witherspoon is Quinyon Mitchell?
Oh, I wasn't in that meeting. I think that was before I joined RPM.
It happened, man.
Witherspoon was the guy at Seattle, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. I was big on Witherspoon, man.
And next year's is Kobe.
Kobe Bryant from Kansas is my
the
pick.
Third Kobe Bryant.
Really? Rise a riser. That's my guy right now. Kobe Bryant.
What makes you like him so much?
Oh, man, he's exactly like Devin Witherspoon, man. He is tenacious, good shoot area quickness as well. But, man, that kid just has something different mentally going on with him. He can play inside and out. I like Kobe Bryant a lot. I like him a lot.
This kid's tape look, I didn't break him down, but I mean, I'm watching it now. This dude's tape is fucking ridiculous.
Dude, he moves so easily. He's aggressive at the catch point. The only knock I ever really had with him, and it's such a fixable thing, is that he just leaves too much inside leverage open sometimes on his steps. Like he'll let guys beat him to the inside, and that's usually the few times that he's gotten beat. But other than that, man, he has been impossible to get off of. And the fact that he showed up at the Senior Bowl and he kicked everybody's ass, nobody got around him, is proof of it.
They played against Ohio State too, and he had a good game against Marvin Harrison that game too.
Right. So, they just said that Marvin Harrison had 4 catches for 39 yards. Dude, I mean, and then running 4.33 at the combine.
They would put him at 10 yards and just let him play off man, and he would just not give anything up underneath either. Like his click and close is stupid for a kid his size.
And you got to be fast as shit if you're playing that much off man coverage.
Ryan,
like if you can't reroute them, if you can't move them off the point of attack, I mean, you got to be moving.
I thought his recovery was a lot like who was the kid from Utah that just got drafted?
Clark Phillips.
Year. Yeah. I thought his recovery when the ball was in the air was a lot like Clark Phillips. Just getting there in a lightning snap, and then I'm right back on you, either deflecting or very close contested catch.
Dude, I love Clark Phillips, man. Clark Phillips as a player.
Joe, I swear to God, if what we said last night about the Chiefs moving up to get Brian Thomas, I am leaving this, going to our StreamYard, clipping that, and posting it on Rufino and Joe show right now.
You think it's going to happen?
Be a big get.
I would have thought that
what I was just told was that they're trying to move up. They were trying to move up before the Jags because they don't know if the Jags are going to take him.
Wow. I know who the Jags are taking. Jags are taking. Brian Thomas Jr.
Wow.
Well, that's a huge upgrade from Calvin Ridley, who was non-existent last year.
Dude, I love Brian Thomas Jr., man.
I always forgot about this, that how much you liked him. because I feel like we talked about him so early on in the process that he was one of these guys that we kind of just like quickly moved on from. But man, I love this mix into the receiving room that they have with the Jaguars because they don't have a bigger body, and he is going to be unstoppable up the seam with the rest of the guys that they have.
They also don't have a lot of speed on that wide receiver unit either. They have Gabe Davis, Zay Jones, who are both. Gabe Davis can win down the field a little bit, but it's more about body positioning. It's not straight line speed. And then they have Christian Kirk, who's going to play majority from the slot. So they needed outside impact, size, and athleticism, and that's what Brian Thomas Jr. is.
I agree with everything what Ryan just said. Everything. But Ryan, you want to laugh at me? You want to laugh?
Yep.
You know what he does better than all that? I know he's a receiver. He will bust your head wide open in run blocking.
Yeah.
He will knock your dude. LSU won the SEC West based off of what he did when Jayden had to scramble. Look, I know he's a receiver. I get it, whatever. But dude's a freak. I think. Hey, by the way, Joe, guess how many yards Brian Thomas Jr. had last year before this one?
He had like 300 yards.
Yeah, and guess who our comp was?
Stop talking about Kyron Lacy. By the way, I'll eat a hat if Kyron Lacy.
Yeah. Like I said, I think you got to thinly cut the hat or shave it up. There's a way you can get a whole hat down. All right, you're not just going to be sitting here fork and knife with a hat, Joe. You got to boil it.
Hat cake.
You should freeze it and then chip it off like peanut brittle, maybe. You know, there's ways to go about it, except for just saying I'm not eating a hat because my tummy hurts.
Joe, that's what I told you to do.
It's not
too,
a matter
man.
of my tummy hurts. You can't
just do a cake.
Literally die from consume. The cake thing is not a bad idea.
Prove it.
Well,
prove it.
I would argue that the cake's kind of a
prove it.
What, that I would die from eating a hat?
Yes, prove it. Dude. There's no studies out there. There's no studies out there that would be a thing.
I've seen him eat a 4-patty Five Guys burger and not even blink. And he's worried about one flimsy hat.
Clothing dye in a fucking Five Guys burger. There's also no fabric in a Five Guys burger.
I'm going to say this about BT. I'm going to say this about BTJ. Maybe y'all can correct me. Name somebody other than Marvin Harrison that goes up for the ball better than he does.
Ryan has actually gone as far as to say this, and I agree with him. He has the highest ceiling out of any of the receivers. He just
I would agree with that. I think he's got a higher ceiling than Malik.
I said that early in the season. Remember that, Joe?
I think he's got a higher ceiling than Malik.
Yep.
I mean, he led the nation in touchdown receptions. I mean, everybody talked about Malik, but if I'm going to be honest, bro, when Jayden needed something, like when Jayden needed somebody, he went to 11. So I think that there's a lot to be said about him. Like when it was crunch time, that's where he went.
Ooh,
he don't like getting hit, though. He does not like getting hit.
Yeah.
Scouting report, silky smooth, top speed, tracks ball easily.
He don't like getting hit, though.
Wait, so I was going to ask this, though. Wouldn't you agree, Blake, that eating the cake is more of a cop-out than what I offered?
Are we still talking about this?
Yes.
This is
a talking
he's
point.
So worried that I'm going to make him eat a hat.
No. This is a conversation point. Is this not? This has been a conversation the whole stream. People were tuning in because they wanted to see if I was wearing the goddamn hat that I said I would put on. Okay. Most of our early viewership were LSU fans coming into a number of which came into bring.
I think we should make them choose one last time. Do you need to wear a hat for like until the season, or do you need to eat like a 5-pound hat-shaped cake live on show, and we sit here while you eat it
with no beverage?
With no,
I'm fine with doing either.
Dude, I don't want to kill him. I mean, I don't really want to kill him. You know what? How much I like cake. I will let you clip this. I will let you pass if you can eat 5 Popeyes biscuits in a row without drinking any water or any liquid, and if you survive for an hour.
Light work. I'm the throat goat, man. I light work. I can easily do
All right, I'm leaving this train.
You're the what? You're the what?
I've been told I've got to. No, I'm not going to go that far.
What did you just say? You're the what?
No.
That's the biggest pause moment in the history of pause moments.
Also, Sean, if you're starting to notice, Blake always I've never pointed this out to Blake. Blake always does this thing where he goes, "Clip this," and it's like I don't know who he's talking to. I never know who he's talking to. I'm like,
he's put it out there. Just clip it.
Who is there a producer that we have that's like that's live?
Joe.
Can I tell you what I do? Can I tell you what I do? I'd say it to myself.
I know. I'm just giving you shit. It's just
Joe. You just called yourself the throat goat. You just called yourself the throat goat a second ago. Are we just going to move past this without anybody acknowledging that he just calls himself the throat goat?
I stand on business with that, man.
Don't try to lure me back in with fancy, flashy producer talk about clip this, clip that. All right. I need to see the cake or at least 5 to 7 Popeyes biscuits gone down with no bev.
All right. Tweet it out, Blake.
How about a bag of dry rice?
I'll tweet it out tomorrow because
I got to know if I need to order this hat. I have it picked out.
Well, Joe, listen. In Louisiana, if I tweet this out on a Thursday at 9:57 during the draft, they're going to be drunk. I'm telling you, the entire state of Louisiana is drunk at this current moment. You do not want that to happen. Let them wake up sober and let them decide.
All right. Tweet it out in the morning. We'll find out what happens.
Who do you think they're celebrating more, Blake? The Jayden Daniels pick or the Saints pick?
Jayden Daniels. But can I tell you something though, bro? I don't mean this in the wrong way. A lot of the fan base hated him.
Jayden?
Yeah, they wanted him.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people, even nationally, that got on his ass after game one. And I'm like, dude, he had 478 yards against Florida State. They're like, he didn't have enough touchdowns. And I'm like, okay, well, Joe Burrow had 502 against Auburn and only had a touchdown. Like it wasn't all on him. But, Sean, I don't mean this in a wrong way. The Deep South can have very strong opinions and wrong opinions.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think what Jayden overcame meant more to young black quarterbacks here than anywhere else. I fully believe that. And well, that's why I love Jayden so much, if I'm being honest. It's because it wasn't, bro, he completed 89% of his passes and they wanted him benched in a game.
This is what, and it doesn't really even matter in the conversation. Most of the people who fucking quote tweeting me, and they fit into that camp. When
they do fit into that camp.
When Jayden Daniels transferred, I even remember I did a video on the quarterback battle on the Hack City account, and it got a lot of views. Like, got a few thousand views on it, like at 1.5, nothing crazy. But all the comments were like, "You're a fucking idiot. They're gonna start Nussmeier. They're gonna start Max Johnson. Like, you don't know what you're talking about," or whoever else, whoever the guy was that retired, probably that was there.
The comments,
but they were calling
01, something like that.
Joe, hey, remember we had the conversation last night about Detroit trading up with Dallas?
Yeah.
Breaking, Detroit has traded up with Dallas.
Terry and Arnold, I'm calling it.
Yep, they're going to go corner. I would be shocked if they didn't.
They need it. Secondary's getting picked apart.
And they fucking love SEC, dude.
Who did they jump in front? They jumped in front of Green Bay?
They jumped in front of Green Bay. Well, Green Bay's taking the white kid. The white savior in corner.
Eugene.
The only white person in the draft. Cooper.
The only white person in the draft. There's no other white person.
Cracker of the year. Cracker of the draft. Yeah, this got to be Terry and Arnold. Or it could be Nate Wiggins.
They are rolling deep out there.
I got to be honest. I can't believe that Terry and Arnold to people is a better prospect than Kool-Aid. I am quite honestly flabbergasted.
It's nothing to do with the prospect conversation. Apparently, he had Kool-Aid had a foot issue that he didn't really disclose. The same thing happened with Jurjan. So a lot of times, and Jurjan's probably going to fall out of the first round like we're seeing right now. Kool-Aid might fall out of the first round for the same reason. As we know, these teams for some reason get all hot and bothered when
we knew
they
he had
think
the
was
foot issue though, Joe. He came out in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, but NFL teams are dumb and they overthink this shit where they're like, oh, why is this coming out at the
combine?
know what
that tells me? That all you sons of bitches didn't do your job. How do you break down his film and not know the best corner on the field got hurt during the SEC championship game? How?
Ryan, I'm not off base with that though, right? Was the issue with Kool-Aid. Why he slid was because of the foot stuff.
And some people, some evaluators, some scouts, I think, didn't think he was going to test great. Like they kind of questioned his overall like long speed and everything. That was kind of the questions on Kool-Aid.
That dude was awesome. Oh, it is Tyrion Arnold.
Yeah.
T-Arn.
What could the Cowboys be thinking then?
I bet it's
straight back. What are they sitting for?
They're probably going to take one of the centers. They need a
center.
Packers?
Yeah.
Cowboys.
No, Cowboys. I bet it's Graham Barton.
Well,
it's Cooper
Packers
DeJean.
could too.
Yeah, Packers could too. The next two picks are going to be Cooper DeJean or Graham Barton.
Do you know who Dallas's starting center is right now?
It's not Biotish.
It's not Frederick. He's not on the team anymore. It's not Frederick. He retired a couple years ago.
I know.
Basically.
Jesus.
Who is it?
Former Coastal Carolina turned Virginia Tech center Brock Hoffman.
Oh, did he play any good last year, or was he not even?
I don't think he really played, but he's their starting center right now. If there was a game today, so.
Dude, there were games though that Tyrion Arnold got cooked by the dude that got selected ahead of him.
Brian Thomas, yeah.
I mean, bro, Tyrion Arnold got used to get cooked. Like that.
He had his first 2 years were brutal, and I think that's why some evaluators and Ryan wasn't like super gung ho over Arnold. I remember when we talked.
I don't really like either Alabama corner that much.
Yeah.
To be honest,
you don't like Kool-Aid. Well, I'm just flabbergasted that Kool-Aid isn't ahead of him for some people.
Yeah, I struggle with Kool-Aid a little bit.
What did you struggle with him on?
I didn't like his ball skills, and I thought that his long speed was pretty ordinary for NFL standards. Pretty ordinary.
Who's number 9 on the stage?
Was Kool-Aid returning kicks last year or punts?
That might be.
You were.
That might be.
I like that.
Is that Bryce Underwood?
Yeah, that might be Bryce Underwood.
I think it is. Underwood.
I was going to say that kid has to be a recruit.
Actually, no, that's not Bryce Underwood. I think Bryce Underwood was 19.
Underwood.
Yeah, Bryce Underwood was 19. Yeah. He's not 9.
Hey, where's Bryce Underwood going again, Joe?
Not LSU. Although he's about to get passed as the top. Wait, is he 2025 or 2026?
2025.
Oh, never mind.
Blake, do you and Joe argue about Brian Kelly a good amount, or would you say that
no, not really?
Oh, I mean, I think he's in his prime.
LSU fans think I'm a little too harsh on him.
I think he's okay. He's got Jesse.
He's gonna have to find a way to get defensive tackles, and the birds will start chirping on him. Unfortunately, if he doesn't make the playoff, I mean, like you can't be here and not make the playoff. You can't.
They might make it with 12. They might make it with 12.
That's the point.
They should make it with 12. Yeah. Sean, are you a college football fan or not really? Like a Maryland Terp? You look like a Maryland Terp kind of guy. I don't know.
That's what I would look like.
I don't know why that shit's so funny, but I'm sorry.
You think I'm in the crowd going, "Go Talia! Just let's go."
Speaking of the Turtles, nothing was better than when Josh Pate went to he went to Maryland and he tweeted that video of 2 tortoises.
Wait, what? I don't remember him doing that.
He went to the Maryland-Michigan game, and he when he landed in Maryland, he tweeted out a photo of 2 tortoises.
That's a great bit.
He said the tortoise's mouth was wide ass open. Hold on.
Wait, tortoise?
Wait, what is happening?
A tortoise.
Oh, I thought you were saying tortoise.
I'm sorry.
Tortoise
I'm like, oh, Kate is getting down to the nitty gritty up in College Park.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
Oh, okay.
All right, hold on.
Well, tortoises, those tortoises, they got some hammers. I tell you what,
all right.
Joe, would you let me finish? Because it was going to finish better than how it started. All right.
3 minutes in, we're talking about turtle dicks.
For animal genitalia, the turtle is the most shocking. You would think it's a horse or an elephant or something with a big hanger. No, when you see that turtle dick, you're surprised every time.
Sorry, Joe. Do you want to talk about your throat again or something, dude?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, man. At least that was a little more PG.
Yeah.
That was at least open for interpretation.
Yeah, Ryan, I think I'm still in free agency with my college fandom. I mean, maybe I'll sign with USC this offseason.
To who? The Lions? Wait, to who? Green Bay?
Packers, yeah.
Who?
I might throw up,
Morgan to the Packers.
Awful pick.
Sean, I hate how much that hat actually is really cool. It really bothers me that is a really cool logo. They should have kept that logo.
It's a good one. And I wish I could claim this hat, but this hat was bought when, teams still had cool logos. So it is what it is.
Sean is going to be an indoctrinated Rutgers fan when I take him every single Saturday to a Rutgers game in Piscataway, New Jersey. We're going to be the first people at every single tailgate. Kyle Monangai is going to know us on a first name basis.
Monangai is good, man. It's a good player.
You see, that would be nice. I'm a Kyle Monangai fan. I had him on my top 5 returning running backs. Someone else didn't.
He never followed me back.
Oh,
he follows me.
Does he?
Yeah,
Can you get him on the pod?
Yeah. I think I have his phone number. Yeah.
All right, Joe.
Joe,
I'm about to send you this on.
I'm not putting it up on the screen.
It's just a photo.
So, Sean,
put it up on the screen.
He commented that on your post. I'm not logged into my Twitter on this computer, so I can't call something like that.
Can you just log in real quick? I mean, it's not that complicated.
I don't know what my Twitter password is. I'm afraid to change it.
Oh God.
That's so foul.
Green Bay just took Jordan Morgan, dude. What, played left? To play left tackle?
They got to be bumping him into guard.
Dude, I feel like they have a massive need at left tackle. Isn't there starting left tackle Rasheed?
Dude, another year that they don't. Well, I guess they couldn't go receiver. Who would be the highest receiver right now?
Available? AD Mitchell. I would take Keon Coleman. Actually, probably is the next.
I'd go Worthy, Coleman, then Mitchell.
I'm not in on Worthy.
Oh, you're a crazy person.
Dude, underweight guys that have bad hands, man. I just don't know how that's supposed to project. He's going to be good for 2 deep balls a game.
Based off of what happened with John Ross.
Yeah, someone was tweeting about, after his combine, everyone's going to think of him as a go ball receiver, but I remember him being way better within 5 yards.
Dude, he'd take a slant to the hizzy.
Yeah, I'm in on him. I don't know. I think Joe might have some Wan'Dale Robinson fatigue.
Well, Wan'Dale Robinson's been. Wait. Wan'Dale Robinson hasn't been. You mean Kadarius Toney?
No, Wan'Dale. I think you have both.
And I'm a fan of known Kadarius Toney was going to be a bust when he showed up to the draft with his eyebrow shaved.
Wait, did he? I don't even remember that.
Forgot about that.
He's a weird kid. Wan'Dale Robinson has been regarded by a lot of. If you listen to a lot of there's been a lot of NFL guys that have said that Wan'Dale Robinson's one of the most underrated.
I agree.
Receivers in the NFL. He's been hurt. That's it.
Yeah, he's been hurt.
I don't care about players' analysis on other players, dude. I couldn't give 2 shits about that.
Wan'Dale Robinson is a better route runner and has better hands than Xavier Worthy.
Ryan, what do you look for? That's such a
Dude, are y'all noticing Jimmy Sexton in every one of these player picks?
What do you mean?
Well, Jimmy Sexton is a coach's agent, isn't he?
Wait, are you saying that he's like with a lot of these guys?
Yeah, he's with a lot of these Alabama guys. He's with a lot of the SEC guys, at least. I mean, he's Saban's agent.
Maybe he's out of he lost so much in commissions from Saban that he's
getting the players now.
Yeah, he's trying to show up and sign the players. God, that's a weird one.
Jordan Morgan. Dude, they have to be playing him at left tackle, Joe.
Dude, I would vomit.
That's their biggest need. It's the biggest need on the offensive line.
No, I feel
and Bakhtiari's not there anymore, is he?
No, I don't believe so.
I think they ended the year with Rasheed Walker starting at left tackle. Like they need a left tackle bad.
God, I always feel like they got O-line depth. They pull somebody up from that second string and they fill right in like a starter.
You know who's on that line, Joe? You know who's on that line who might start next year? Remember, this is a blast.
Sean Ryan.
Pass. Sean Ryan, baby.
Your boy,
next year.
That was one of your biggest misses.
How is it a miss? How could you say that yet? How could you say it yet?
I might be off base, not to distract too much. I might be off base in this, but actually this isn't distracting, but to shift points. I feel like
why are we shifting? I just asked you a question.
What is
this conversation? And then...
We're talking about I don't know. We've been on the stream for 3 hours trying to speak coherently is a little rough at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
Jordan Morgan. Okay. It feels like, and I don't know about you, Ryan, but I have got this weird large contingency of Packers people that I follow that follow me. And I feel like the whole offseason they've been shitting on Jordan Morgan and why he wouldn't be the pick. Have you also noticed that, or am I crazy?
Say that one more time.
He looks like a Packers offensive lineman.
He does. I have noticed a lot of Packers folks shit on the possibility.
Yeah, he does got a wide fucking stance.
He's a Packers lineman. That is a system pick. I think it's going to be a better pick than expected
by you. Tampa Bay selected Graham Barton, by the way.
Yeah, that makes sense. They need a center dearly. They lost Ryan Jensen this offseason in retirement. So,
well, didn't he blow his knee out before the last year?
Dude,
he was back this year.
I don't know if there. I mean, this has got to be a record of offensive linemen drafted in the first round, right? Like we've got to be past a record at this point.
I think
that's got to be what, 8 now.
Warren Sharp last year was talking about how offensive lineman depth in the NFL was like staggeringly bad. Like if one guy goes down on your front five, then your whole offense is fucked up for the rest until he gets healthy again. So maybe they're trying to take that.
Maybe we need to try to see if we got eligibility left.
Oh God, I'd go out there and chop block every single play. I would not let one of these NFL. I wouldn't let an NFL defensive lineman get in my chest. I would dive right at their knee. Sorry, I'm getting picked up. That's what I'm doing.
It's way too hard to find out what the record is.
People are getting on to Saban right now because apparently he accidentally said that they tampered for the Toledo corner.
Oh, no way. Did he really?
Yeah.
Wait, what did he say?
He said, I can read the quote right here. He was our number one guy in the portal last year to try to get him to come out of the portal, and he would never come out of the portal.
But he never went into the portal. Yeah.
That's his direct quote. But him not going into the portal, I guess, is what they're saying, that they were trying to get him in the to go in the portal and take him.
Well, Joe, you remember the year before when when we recorded with Tucker Kraft, and he said that Alabama had tampered with him too. He had offered him like 6 figures.
I remember. Yeah.
Or not 6 figures. That. Well, no, 6 figures, yeah.
This is why Blake, you and I go to war when you try to bring up the whole Riley Leonard was tampered with, Sam Hartman was tampered with.
I'm just
fucking yeah. Dude, every team's tampering.
But the truth is, they were tampered with. The statement is not false.
It's not false.
Now, Ryan, I need you to put on earmuffs because I'm just trying to get under his skin.
Okay.
He was fucking tampered with, Joe.
Riley Leonard wasn't. Riley Leonard sought out Notre Dame. Right, Ryan?
I seek out for big titty blonde, sure.
I would just like to say Everyone tampers, man. I mean, we're
LSU's never
that.
Why does he think that Riley?
They've never paid anyone anything before. Yeah,
Never.
sure.
What'd you say, Sean?
Especially
Notre Dame's above tampering.
No, I just said they
just do it more elegantly.
Everyone tampers.
There's no such thing as elegant.
Dude, Cardinals
there's no
a pretty
team.
solid pick, I think.
Who?
Cardinals are going to be taking Darius Robinson out of Mizzou. I like him a lot.
They should have taken Kool-Aid.
You don't like the fit?
Darius Robinson's a day 2 pick for me. I think it's a good fit for the defense, though. They run a 3-4, right?
He was going to go in the first round, though, Joe. I told you that. He was going to go in the first round.
They're a 3-4, though, right? The Cardinals?
Mm-hmm. It's a perfect fit for him.
Yeah, because he's gonna play that
4-4-I.
Yeah. Man, he's
a weird kid, though.
Right.
Weird player, I mean, not a weird kid. He's a weird player, though. A little weird.
He might be the most chiseled 4-tech in the whole NFL.
Do you remember when he went to the combine too, and he had some crazy jumps, and everyone's like, "Man, he's about to run something stupid, isn't he?" And he ran like 4.95 or something like that.
I remember we were talking about that, and I was like, I never really saw insane linear athlete. He's not like a twitchy.
I mean, but he had great jumps though. Yeah, he's not bendy. That's why
he's heavy though.
What do you mean? What? Say it again.
So he had good jumps. But he's also like one of the heaviest edge rushers. So his what was his weight? Let me pull it up right now.
But that's still linear explosiveness.
He was
broad, vertical. Yeah.
He was 285. So he's
a big boy.
Yeah. For him to run a 4.95 as a 4-tech is a really good time. I think that a lot of people didn't understand, and I think some people just assumed it like, oh, this is a 4-3 defensive end. This is a wide alignment guy.
Well, the weird part about Darius Robinson is he played more inside in 2022, and I didn't think he was that good playing inside exclusively. Yeah. And then they moved him on the edge more in 2023, and I thought he was a lot more natural working from a little bit of a wider alignment, which is interesting. But
yeah, it's a good fit because they ran in Missouri, they ran a 4-3, and they were using him as a hand in the dirt defensive end in that 4-3 front that they were running.
Right.
And it would have made a lot. It just seems like it's weird that they even recruited him. I don't know if Drink recruited him or not, but it just seems like that they didn't know.
He was probably already there. He was probably already there.
Yeah.
Drink
man. Oh, bro. They're about to get on Brian Thomas's parents so bad.
Why?
The reporter asked, how far has your family come through all of this since Brian Thomas has been drafted? His mom said, well, we just came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Wait, can you drop the link in the private chat? I want to pull that up. Yeah. That's like the I don't know why that like makes me think of that one kid who was like, I like fried chicken. Like just like a totally like candid
fried chicken.
Just like a really candid, just like
dude,
very
you know
funny
what's so funny about that? You know what's so funny about that video is all the Arkansas people started playing it after John Tyson bought Kalahari to come there. Because Tyson makes fried chicken.
Wait, how do I Chrome? Okay, here we go. This is the clip.
Look at this producing here.
Shut up.
A lightning strike.
It's awesome. That's all I can tell you. It's awesome. It's awesome feeling.
Family code. We came from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
So never mind.
Great.
It's not at all what I thought. It's not at all what I thought. But that's so goddamn funny.
Oh, God, that's great.
Oh my God.
I thought that the way that you framed it was that they like just kind of gave like a very candid, polite, like, oh, we're just from Baton Rouge. No, she literally was implying we came.
That's how far they came. Like, yeah, distance. Yeah. Oh my God.
In fairness, she might have not heard.
Ryan's not entertained.
I mean, it's an
emotional night, so I can understand.
It's also about an hour and a half after my bedtime, so please ignore me at this point.
When do you don't have to stay on if you're getting tired.
I mean, I'm gonna watch the draft anyway, Joe.
You can leave Twitter.
Yeah, get out of here. When do you want to tape our reaction tomorrow? I can do like 6 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow if you really want to.
No, I got to drop the girls off at daycare tomorrow, so
okay,
it'll be a little bit after that.
Okay, all right. I'll
like
sleep
8:30, 9.
No, I'm not staying up until 5 a.m. I'm not going to stay up that late, dude.
Are you on the East Coast?
Yeah.
Joe, you gonna ask one of us two to record with you, or is it just gonna
Do
be
you host the
Ryan over
first
here
team
telling
NFL
around?
draft prospects podcast? Are you
like I
on
could.
that roster?
Hold my own tonight.
Like, fuck.
Hold my own tonight. Hold my own tonight.
Oh God.
Give me a scouting report on the Remy Martin, man. Give me a scouting report on the Remy Martin.
You know what? Let's check back in.
If when we were at Rhode Island, if I was going, hey guys, when's the specialist meeting? Would you have come up and been like, man, why didn't you invite the offensive lineman to the specialist meeting?
I would have loved to gone in there, mess around.
Sean, would you have liked to get a protector on punt?
No.
You know what, Blake? It's weird. I actually offered up my services as a punt protector senior year because my arm. I had a cartilage defect in my arm, so they weren't going to play me in offensive line because are you going to play someone with a bad arm? Offer myself up on defense. How are you going to play someone with a bad arm? Just in case. Also, by the way, I said, hey, coach, look, I can do punt protection. I will go out and get laid out. I don't care. And then, nope. So I said, all right, surgery time. That's how it's going. Because I wouldn't put me out there also. The whole right side of my body's useless. But I would have been a punt protector. Go out, get laid out, walk back to the sideline, a little grass on my jersey. That's awesome.
Get laid out.
Can't feel my neck. Can't feel the bottom of my, right above my tailbone. Knees hurt. Head hurts. Love it. Can't get enough.
Dude, I hate specialists, man.
Screw you.
Worst. Just
Worst
having
people,
fun
man.
on a football field. Who does that? How could you?
They're a weird bunch of kids too, man. I'm not even talking about you, Joe. I'm just saying, like in general, as a player and coach, like the specialists were always so weird, dude.
Like
I'm a weird guy.
Like, how are the Steelers specialists?
What's that? I couldn't hear you.
How are the Southeastern specialists?
Oh, god awful. They
had to be a different breed because you're one, you're Louisiana, and two, you're a kicker, punter, or a holder, or snapper. You are
Louisiana,
a quirk,
dude. Louisiana puts out a lot of like good athletes. I mean, you literally just saw it tonight, right? You know what this state never has? Someone that can fucking kick.
Why would they?
That's a good point. You guys always go out of state
round
for kickers.
Every year. We're about to oh, never mind. Be quiet.
What?
Y'all's punter went in the portal, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I probably guess where he's going.
That's what I assumed, honestly.
I mean, they don't. I mean, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but they're going to pay a fucking punter. I mean, they need one.
People don't realize how much money a starting specialist. I was listening to
I heard the kid from Arkansas is going to get it close to $500,000. I don't know where he's going, but he's going to get He averaged like 46 yards a punt last year in the SEC.
He's good.
Wait, 1 second. Here is a move that is the most like the weirdest one.
Bills moving out.
The Chiefs are trading up into the Bills pick.
Okay. What's weird about that?
Rivals going up against one another?
Because both of these teams were deemed to be teams that could trade up to take a receiver. I just find it funny that they're the two teams that trade with one another in this situation.
Well, I mean, but like in those conversations, kind of some behind the scenes stuff for people, if anybody's listening to us anymore, I'm sure people are not listening to us anymore, but if they are listening to us anymore.
No, we've had steady, nothing big.
Xavier Worthy, dude. And they're going Xavier Worthy.
I hate that so much. Go ahead, Ryan. What were you saying?
Well, no, it's a moot point at this point then. So we're all good there. We're all good.
No, what were you going to say? You thought that they were
I was going to say usually in those conversations between teams, the team will disclose like this is who we're going up for in order to make the deal happen. Was just the conversation. Yeah. Xavier Worthy. I actually gave them to the Chiefs at number 32 in my mock draft though that dropped earlier. So I got that pick technically right, just in the wrong spot.
It makes sense.
Can't teach 4-2-1, baby. Can't teach 4-2-1.
That's right. I just don't know, man. Like you've already got, and we brought up Kadarius Toney earlier. You already have a deep threat who can't hold on to the football. So let's go and get another deep threat who can't hold on to the football.
Unless they think he's not like that and he's more like what Andy Reid would utilize in the cheater. It is what's God dog it. What's the receivers? Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. Yeah.
I don't see Tyreek in his game though.
I don't either. But
I think what he's saying is that he's a short separator that can do stuff after the catch. Is kind of what
it makes sense for what is valued by the Chiefs and what has been seemingly missing. But it seems like one of those picks where they're just collecting a bunch of guys that fit the same prototype and you're hoping one of them hits. We're talking about Xavier Worthy, Sean, for the Chiefs, by the way.
Oh, he's a big Derby fan, right?
Yeah, you're a big Worthy fan. He's one of the Chiefs.
The Chiefs don't take the regular season seriously. They have been disrespecting the regular season for a couple years. So when I'm analyzing them, I'm looking at who I tune in about January to really start looking at them. Who's healthy? Because those are the dudes that are going to be going on the Super Bowl run. They don't seem to care who, as long as 15 is healthy, it could be anybody on offense, and they still win games. Very frustrating team draft-wise because I feel like they nail it every year. And then I watch, I'm like, maybe they didn't really nail it. And then they still win the Super Bowl. So this era of them not really utilizing rookies the way that other teams would is frustrating. I can imagine it would be for a draft analyst.
Here would be my question. What's up with I thought the Bills wanted a receiver.
They need a receiver. They need a lot of receivers. I think people are trying to I got Patriots fans texting me that they're going to try to get T. Higgins. I got Bills fans that are dying for T. Higgins. He might be on the move day 2, but if he was on the move, he would have been on the move by now, day 1, no?
Right. That's a good point. I wonder if that trade does come through. I feel like Keon Coleman is certainly in play for the Bills.
Buffalo? Yeah, I think the Bills. I think the Bills are going to go corner round 1, and then they're going to come back for wide receiver in the second. Is my pulse.
Okay,
I think
trust your judgment on that.
I think they're looking at Keon Coleman like a B-level Stephon Diggs. All right, we got Diggs is gone. Can catch the ball. Can make some fantastical catches.
I think Keon can be better than Stephon Diggs.
Wow.
Whoa.
I love Keon Coleman, man.
Stephon Diggs is quite good though, Joe. Like quite good.
It's also a prima donna. Although I've heard that Coleman's also a little bit of a
heavens, yes,
a little dramatic.
Keon Coleman kept Florida State in the entire race for the first half of the season. Insanity at the wide receiver position.
Oh, I love Keon Coleman. Tell me about him.
Well, the other draft pundits seem to be falling on him for some reason. I guess he's not that fast.
Like Joe. Joe cooled on him. Cooled way.
I don't care about his 40 speed. I saw what he did on the field. He torched. He made jump ball catches. He made contested catches. He's one of those dudes where I was not even like on the fence of. I'm just like, who's taking him?
I think there's some off the field issues with Keon though.
Yeah.
Oh, that I'm just not privy to that.
Yeah, I think that's like when he went in the portal. There was an incident in Louisiana when he came back home. He got in a little bit of trouble, and then, magically it went away. It was crazy shit. He had a Florida State attorney. Shit was nuts.
There was also apparently his negotiation process was apparently very. Yes. He was very specific.
I can attest to that part. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I heard that from a couple people.
What was his negotiation part?
I forget exactly what it was, but he asked for wasn't it a certain number of targets, and it was a bunch of extra
Oh no, I wasn't talking about that.
What do you mean?
Me?
Yeah, you cut out. What were you saying?
I think I'm delayed a little bit, but I was talking about the there were some negotiations for selecting an agent that was a little bit extreme. I'm just gonna say that and leave that at that.
Damn, the Cowboys, bro. Tyler Guyton.
I mean, why does Dallas miss in the first all the time? I hated the Mozzie Smith pick last year. I despised it.
That was one of the worst picks.
I couldn't believe they decided let's take a defensive tackle here, and that's the defensive tackle we're taking, knowing his strengths and his weaknesses.
A two-down run stopper.
Unbelievable war.
How did he do this year?
Bad. Really bad.
I did not see much of an impact.
He barely played.
If I could be a fly on the wall in any team's war room, it would be the Cowboys. I got to see what Jerry's saying. I got to see what Steven's saying. I want to see Mike McCarthy in his cuck chair because somehow no one's on the same page, and someone seems to be always getting fleeced.
Sean, did I tell you my Jerry Jones story from the combine?
Oh, I would love a Jerry Jones story.
Oh, our Jerry Jones story. Don't take so.
Yeah, I can't say that.
I can confirm this.
I almost got in a picture with Jerry and some other friends, but there's a lot more to the story than that.
I'm gonna share it. Jerry,
were the friends a specific kind of gender?
We walked into a bar,
like friends that Urban might have.
Yes, we walked in a bar to get a drink, and Ryan's just standing there. We come from the cigar lounge, and he's just standing there, and a group of people are taking a picture, and it's Jerry Jones and two 20-year-old blonde girls. Like, definitely not in their 30s. 20-year-old blonde girls.
Sure.
And I pull Ryan out of the way. I'm like, hey, you're in their picture. And we realize who it is. And he walks out with the two of them, like with his arms around him, and then gets in a car and drives off.
Not in a car, Joe. In a limo. Don't forget the limo part.
With his security detail. Had to have been one of the most surreal moments. Like, it was one of those moments where you're just kind of like mouth open, just not sure what to say. And it just happens, and then you're not even sure if it was real or not.
And someone next to us was like, maybe that was his daughter's, and everyone just like,
maybe he's
no,
just sure. I don't think so. It's Jerry Jones. I think he's living in Earth 2. Well, we're all stuck on Earth 1. He beat Earth 1, and now he's just on freelance mode.
Speaking of somebody beating Earth 1 and getting to Earth 2, what about Xavier Worthy going from Quinn Ewers at quarterback to Patrick Mahomes?
Just domination. How could it be bad? How could it? Anybody tell me how this doesn't
Joe
work
and
out?
I completely disagree on Quinn Ewers.
As long as he doesn't.
Quinn Ewers. I think he is ass.
Oh,
Sean loves him. Sean loves him.
Oh, dude.
Sean's a Texas fan.
He's got
as
enough
long as
of that.
Xavier Worthy doesn't get into a car with Rashee Rice, we'll be okay.
No, good one, Joe. Jeez.
All right, he's not ass. He has good traits, but come on, bro.
That was bad.
I think he's got some fuck you in that arm. I love that.
You know where the fuck he goes? When a 472-pound defensive lineman picks him off in a spring game and takes it for 6. And not only that, he can't even track him down because he's so fucking slow.
Yeah, I'm not drafting Quinn Ewers because of his leg talent. I'm drafting him.
No, you would draft him because of decision making. He put it right in his belly button, Sean.
Oh God, a spring game. I saw DeLeone taking a handoff in the backfield. Give me a break.
So fat that his belly button was like a basketball size, and he threw it in the motherfucker. Quinn Ewers is ass.
We might need a weekly 4-box show.
I think Ewers can sling that thing. I think he's the closest
thing.
He's the closest Brett Favre I've found in college since Brett Favre.
Ryan,
entirely frustrating. But he is
Sean, shave your eyebrows because that would be better than the take that you're having right now.
Tyler Guyton went to the Cowboys, by the way. That's a good pick. They needed a tackle. They're getting a developmental guy.
They just drafted Trey Smith.
No, he was
solid.
Yeah, but he's going to play right tackle.
Tyler Smith?
Tyler Smith's going to play left tackle, and then you're going to put Guyton in right tackle. They don't have a right tackle right now.
Oh, yeah, here come the text. Jerry cooked. That's true.
Let's see if I have any Guyton clips. Damn it, I don't have any Guyton clips.
I'm watching his film at the current moment. Dude's got some serious fuck you, though.
Who?
Off the ball. Guyton.
Dude, he's a former tight end. He was at TCU. His ass is really light, and he plays a little too high. But
I don't give a fuck.
No, when he
Remember what happened the last time a tight end from Oklahoma transitioned to right tackle?
Right, Lane Johnson.
Right.
I like this pick.
Oklahoma always puts out fucking.
I don't know how they do it. Impressive pro ready tackles.
Dude,
Wow.
do they not? Dude, Oklahoma puts in more pro ready tackles than anybody. Oh my God, the Ravens.
Who they take?
Dude,
I mean, it had to be a legendary pick, like always, right?
the Ravens are the best team in the world at drafting.
And nobody drafts better than them.
Wait, who did you take?
They took Nate Wiggins.
Oh my God, bro. That's infuriating that every year there's always one goddamn guy that like everyone's just not paying attention to, and he slides and he slides and he slides. And then here come the Ravens. Hody-do-do. Oh, this guy fell into our lap. We don't have to trade up. We don't have to do anything. Here's an instant all-pro player that we're going to add to our defense. That is infuriating.
Dude, I don't know. I wish, Sean, you said earlier you wished that you could be in the Cowboys war room. You know what war room I would want to be in? The fucking Ravens.
Yeah. Just to see what they're picking up on.
What is the recipe of you drafting dudes and continuously getting right?
Just nailing first-round pick after first-round pick.
Every
Lamar,
year, dude.
nail. Lyndon Baum, or whatever his name.
I remember them missing on that they took high was J.K. Dobbins, but he just got.
You're taking a running back. It's a luxury pick, anyways. Who gives a shit? It's a running back. It's not like you're investing in a cornerstone. You know, you're taking that shot for a 4-year window when you draft a running back. You got 4 years to make a real big push. If he's an elite guy, you got 6. If not, you get another in 4 years. That's just the modern NFL. And Baltimore continues to find running backs that still fit that 4-year slot. I don't even know why they took Dobbins. They draft positional players better than anybody else. God, it's so frustrating watching every move that they make get right in the draft.
Are you not? I'm assuming you don't like the Ravens then.
Oh, fuck the Ravens. I can give a shit. They just.
All right, we're swearing like sailors now that we reached almost hour 4.
Look, that's how the draft goes. If you were sitting with your buddies, then you would be saying the same thing.
It's true.
Everybody should be equally pissed that the Ravens continue to land star after star.
I like good football, man, and I like it is the equivalent of the Chiefs, where they seemingly always end up with an elite offensive player falling in their lap, and here they are. It's insane. I think Marlon Humphrey's still there, that he's going to slide in on the outside with all of those dudes that they have on this defense.
Dude, they have Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, and who was the DB?
Hamilton.
Safety, Hamilton. Dude, what the
Roquan Smith, and one of the leading sack guys was Justin Matabike, who was a defensive tackle this year.
And who is not a household name.
No. Texas A&M kid.
Like, fuck Texas A&M.
I don't think he was a Jimbo guy. No, we're almost done.
He would have to be.
Well, it was a successful day in terms of how many impressions I got.
I just got sent this video.
Well, I gave you like 500,000.
Joe, true. Did you see Fontenot and Arthur Blank having just what I would say an interesting conversation in their war room? I think after the pick.
Wait, was there a video of them arguing?
I'll send it to you right now. Duke's just sent it to me, actually.
Send it to me.
Yeah, I do not think the ownership and the GM were on the same.
Damn, dude, we've gone this draft. Joe, remember last year we did a draft for 5 hours.
Yeah, it was because there were more trades, and this was my whole point, that there were going to be less trades this year. Damn, I should have put a bet down on that. I wonder. Oh God, bro, I got cooked on my bets. I think I originally had like $90, and I'm down to 30 in my Bet Online account.
Wiggins had a good outfit.
Was he the one with the open? Is it kind of like a jersey?
Open
shirt?
shorts.
Dude,
open
is there a better fit than Nate Wiggins to the Ravens?
Well, that was what I kind of tweeted that out. I don't know. Well, no, I said Amarius Mims with the Bengals was the best fit. Dude, that tweet that I had popped, it's got almost 500 likes, and I'm stunned by the amount of Bengals. Like, I've got a lot of Bengals fans in my comments. My camera just died again. Jesus Christ. The amount of Bengals fans in my comments that are disappointed with the pick.
Joe, clip that.
Fix the back.
Shut up.
Fucking piece of shit camera. Oh, I just got this Ultra HD. It didn't cost me a dime. Look at me. I'm Joe DeLeone. I've got the best tech in the world. Oh, it never fails me. I got to replace the battery once every 90 minutes, though, or else I can't be seen.
Shut up.
You stink. That camera's awful.
I do need a new one. I mean, it's constantly out of focus.
There has to be an external power source.
There is, but I'm out of places to plug stuff in. Okay, it's gonna be a problem to be solved in Hoboken.
Well, just don't
get an adapter with
shit out.
I have a 19, actually 20 outlet adapter right here. I can plug in 20 things to.
My piece of shit
You know what it
apartment
cost
would
me? It cost me
explode.
$7.
My apartment would explode if I plugged in a $7 19 port power strip. I think that
he told you how
would
much he pays for that apartment. You know how much
it's not being shared on this stream right now.
Lose your fucking mind. You would lose your mind how much he complains about.
I'm wasting a lot of money on this apartment, which is why I'm eager to move back to
sitting in the money pit.
Dude, you probably pay more than I do for my mortgage.
Oh,
I think he pays more than both.
I pay more than my dad pays for his mortgage.
Dude, are you paying over $2,500 a month?
Well, yes, it's Los Angeles.
$2,500, Blake. Come on.
I mean, that's probably what we're going to be paying. And
hey, don't worry about what I'm paying. Pocket
Dude,
watcher.
rent is expensive these days. It's really goddamn expensive these days.
Dude, I got a $412,000 house, and I don't pay that much a month.
Well, you're also in Louisiana. I mean, you probably have a pretty big house for
like 3,200 square foot.
I think Joe.
We need to move to Louisiana, Sean.
Triple the amount of rent that I have paid.
Or we need to probably, which is why I'm eager to have a roommate too. We can save a little.
Are y'all going to be roomies?
Yeah, we were roommates in college. He's the only person.
You're going to be roommates again.
Yeah, he's the only person that I would willingly live with. I had so many roommates that I did not get along with because I'm very high maintenance.
Dude, I live with you're going to laugh y'all's ass off. I live with 4 other guys. We had a loft. Okay, we paid $167 a month in rent. Okay, $167. We had awesome. 1 baseball player, 3 football players, and a dork.
Just a random guy.
I have no idea where the fuck he came from.
That's great. Was he chill or was he dork?
Oh, so chill. Smoked so much weed. So much weed. And dude, like graduated with like a 4.0, was like it still, I think he's like in his residency, but dude smokes so much weed and it freaks me out. I'm like, dude, like if I need to have surgery, like I'm not gonna go to you. You smoke too much weed. He goes, oh, you're gonna want me to smoke weed. And I'm like, I go, why? He goes, precision. Smartest motherfucker.
Oh man, that guy's gonna chop you up.
Like
Bro
it's
said
like
precision.
He's talking about precision because he races better on Mario Kart.
It's a Tulane medical and graduated Tulane Medical, like one of the biggest medical schools in the world.
Very hard to get into.
And graduated first in his class.
Yeah, like Sean said, you don't talk about precision while high unless you're referring to
like a pancake
Mario
flip.
Kart.
Yeah, or Mario Kart, something like that. That's
oh God.
Hold on, Joseph. Let me liven you
up.
Yeah,
go. You want to reshare your thoughts on this?
Well, look, thanks. Thank you for the question, Will. And if anybody else in here wants to ask a question, we don't have much time. The 31st.
Oh my God!
All right, sorry, Will. Let's put that
What's
back down.
Hold on. The 49ers just drafted Ricky Pearsall.
What? What?
Oh, no. San Francisco.
Would it be problematic if I tweeted the 49ers have a type?
Yes.
I'm not going to tweet that. It's like the thing with the Orioles where all of their prospects are like white dudes that are all the same size.
No, they're not.
The Orioles prospects?
Yeah, the first round pick. No, they just drafted Ricky Bradfield from Vandy.
But all the guys that they've been calling up, Rushman.
Yeah, they just drafted the fastest black kid from.
I don't know. You're not. I don't know if you're on MLB Twitter as much as I am.
Oh, I'm on MLB Twitter. Believe me,
it's all I see on MLB Twitter is people making fun of the. Sean, you seem very focused.
Well, because they got Jackson Holiday. That's why.
Yeah, everyone says everyone looks like Jackson Holiday that they have. Sean, why are you so focused?
Are they? They're trading Ayuk then, right?
They gotta be.
Who's he going to? Why are we getting a Brandon Ayuk day 2 trade? What is this shit? Maybe it's not. Are they just adding this dude?
They didn't even really need
what
a receiver.
Happens here? Yeah, what is this?
That means they're trading Ayuk.
Yeah, where's he going?
New England
wouldn't be a bad shout. New England wouldn't give up that 34th pick though for Ayuk if they were just do a 1-1.
Well, he played with Jayden Daniels. I mean, the kid's not bad. He's just not a first round pick.
No, I think he's. I would have taken Lamb McConkey over him. He fits the type that they'd be looking for, which is a yak killer, a guy after the catch that's going to be a good route runner. His hands are decent. He did pretty good at the Senior Bowl, but yeah, I would have expected them to maybe go guard here, and I don't know what guards would have been.
His NFL Network comp was Michael Gallup.
Not even remotely close.
Who was putting that?
Bill's got to go Keon here. Then
you know who his NFL comp is?
Who do you got?
Adam Thielen.
Wait.
Thielen
Adam
doesn't have the
Thielen's bigger.
juice like that.
Yeah, Adam Thielen's bigger and slower.
It's almost.
Pearsall's not little.
Pearsall's 5'11".
Like
no, he's not. Thielen's 195, 6'2", and then Ricky.
Here's the thing. I don't think there's not white receivers.
Oh no, he is 6.
Like
he is
Pearsall,
6'1". I'm mistaken.
He's 6'1". He is not. I mean, he can run.
But Thielen's not a 4.4 guy. Thielen's more of like a 4.6
you're acting like
guy.
Thielen was small in his early years. Thielen used to light
slow.
dudes up. No, he wasn't slow.
Yeah, he's a 4.6 guy.
So was Jerry Rice, and nobody called his ass.
Well, I'm not saying he's
Yeah,
bad.
exactly. That's not
He's
worried
slow.
about Keon because Jerry's game speed was so much faster than his 40.
Oh my God!
What's the last one?
The Panthers traded up one spot with the Bills, and they took Xavier Legette.
Wow,
South
Keon
Carolina.
Carolina, first round.
What did the Bills get for that? I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Dude,
Bills are just moving on back.
I don't know. Bills get a 5th round for a 6th round, and they just switch spots. Okay, so the Bills move up 59 picks in day 3, and then move back 1 pick between day 1 and day 2.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're gonna wrap here because I got to jump.
Pearsall may be Brandon Lloyd, 6 foot, 6'1", nutso hands. That's my comp.
Thanks for everyone who stayed on with us this whole time. This was fun. Did pretty good on viewership, better than I anticipated. It's fun, guys. Appreciate you guys both of you sticking around. I didn't know if I was going to be doing this on my own or not, but this was a blast. We're going to have some reaction videos coming.
See, here's the thing about offensive linemen, Joe, that you need to get through your thick skull. We are loyal to a fault.
Where else am I going to be?
And we would never let you down.
Well, thank you guys. This is why I love you.
All right.
Enjoy your night, everybody.